Back in Chicago, the home of Willie Dixon and Jeff Tweedy, for a foggy 74-degree day here in Chicago, Illinois, for preseason game number 3 for the Chiefs and the Bears. And Andy Reid saying, yeah, it is preseason game number 3, so a longer look, a longer run for the starters, so we will likely see the starters through the first half, maybe into the third quarter.
Well, and I think if you see the offensive unit have the production they've had in the first 2 preseason games, I don't necessarily think you see Alex Smith the entire first half. I know you want to get some rhythm coming in and out of the locker room. I know the third preseason game, especially with the noon kickoff being a more typical time that the Chiefs play on a Sunday afternoon. So this is something you want, that transition in and out of the locker room at halftime, but you also don't want to risk Alex Smith. If he comes out and he's productive the first few series, I don't see a reason of putting that at risk.
Alex telling us yesterday, hey, a noon game in the preseason is actually a pretty good test because you most oftentimes play night games in the preseason, and then that first noon game comes around in the regular season, which means you are up early. It's roll out, get something to eat, get to the stadium and play ball. So sometimes a tough wake-up call for that first noon game. He was happy to get one out of the way in the preseason.
You know, it's definitely unusual for the preseason. If you look at what the Chiefs have had now, their first preseason game was at 3:30, and then they had the night game last week on the West Coast, and then now a noon kickoff. So you're going to have that during the course of the season, and like you say, players are about routine, getting into that routine, so this can be helpful once the regular season approaches.
Tyreek Hill back to return, takes it out of the end zone. Tyreek Hill looking for his first big one of the preseason. There is a flag down as Hill picks his way near the 25, shoved back finally at the 24. We'll check the flags back at the 10. Gene Steratore is our referee today.
During the return, a legal block in the back, return team, number 17. Half the distance to the goal, first down, Kansas City.
Chance for us to check in with B.J. Kissel.
Thanks, Carter. Obviously, the big news over the last 48 hours are the reports that safety Eric Berry is planning on returning to the Chiefs sometime this week. When asked about that on Friday, Chiefs chairman and CEO Clark Hunt said that he couldn't confirm those reports, but did say that he expects Eric Berry back soon, adding everybody's looking forward to having him back in the locker room.
Thank you, BJ. And that has been one of the big questions for the Chiefs in the preseason and hopefully answered soon. We have Zach Fulton at center. More on that in a moment as Alex Smith takes the shotgun and to the outside, incomplete, intended for Conley. So we take a look at our Sprint starting lineups, and during warm-up, the second-year center Mitch Morse injured, went to the training room, so Zach Fulton in now at center.
Well, and that's the thing, the flexibility that Zach Fulton brings. He started at all 3 spots on the interior part of the line. You can see the receivers, running backs, and of course Travis Kelce, the Pro Bowl tight end.
When we talk about that offensive line, and throughout the preseason, you will see Andy Reid and Andy Heck, offensive line coach, move guys around exactly for instances like these. So Fulton, versatile offensive guard, backup center in place of Morse. Smith out of the end zone, throwing again, complete. That's Macklin pushing his way near a first down.
Well, it's always a tough spot to start your first drive of the game down near your own goal line, but after an unsuccessful first snap, they come back. Just a curl route to Macklin, going up with a soft corner, not trying to get beat deep. Accurate throw, picking up the first down, giving them separation, like I said, from their own goal line.
So moving to 1st and 10 as Macklin continues to be the biggest target for Alex Smith and the Chiefs offense.
You talk about the adjustment with Zach Fulton. All of a sudden you go through the entire week of preparation and warm-ups with Morse as your center. Now right here before the game you're going, with your backup center.
There's Conley on the slant. Another first down across the 30 to Chris Conley.
It almost looked like a duplicate play of the one before where they threw the curl route to Jeremy Macklin on the other side of the field. If the corners for the Bears are going to play that far off, just run up 10 yards, hook it up, and make an accurate throw, and that's what they've done 2 plays in a row, picking up first downs.
Conley ends up getting 16. So completions to the 2 big targets that were lined up together on the right side for Smith here on 1st and 10.
Yeah, and sometimes it's you don't need to overcomplicate things. If that's what they're giving you, go ahead and take it.
Spencer Ware takes the first handoff across the 35-yard line. No Sharkandrick West, no Jamal Charles out there, so Spencer Ware, Niall Davis, and Darren Reeves figured to get a lot of carries, beginning with Spencer Ware.
Well, and that's what's so good about the Chiefs from a depth standpoint at running back. With Jamal Charles going down last year, West and Ware were the combination backs with Niall Davis complementing them as well. Now all of a sudden you got 2 guys nicked up and Ware's just going to carry the load. He did it last year when he got those opportunities, big game against Buffalo, and now he's going to carry the load here, especially in the first half.
Bears show pressure off the edge. Ware trying to run away from it. Back to the original line of scrimmage as we check in again with BJ Kissel.
Hey, thanks, Carter. Just got an update on center Mitch Morse, who walked by me right before kickoff, and that he is sick and will not play today. He is ill.
All right, thank you, BJ. And that comes yesterday after Alex Smith was really singing the praises of Mitch Morse, talking about a guy who's in his second year, saying he doesn't seem like a young guy at all, very mature. So with Morse out for today, and Zach Fulton, the third-year pro out of Tennessee, third year as a Chief at center.
Well, that's probably about as good of bad news as you could get if you're the Chiefs, that it's an illness thing as opposed to an injury.
Smith on third down to Kelsey on the outside. It is complete at the 50 for another Chiefs first down.
And this is just good awareness by Alex Smith, understanding that you've got your tight end and Pro Bowl tight end, 87 catches, over 800 yards, 5 touchdowns. You have him matched up one-on-one with a linebacker. Put the ball away from the defender and let your guy go get it.
Opening drive completions of 14, 16, and 10 on that first down to Macklin. So all 3 completions have gone for 10 plus, and now a handoff on the sweep. It's Wilson who's shoved out for a minimal gain.
Well, and that's what you want to do if you're the Bears. You just want to extend it and stretch it. Don't let the, in this case, Albert Wilson, you don't want to let him get upfield. Just stretch it and let the defenders come along. Travis Kelce doing a nice job at the point of attack, but really nowhere for Wilson to turn it up.
Opening drive for Alex Smith and the Chiefs. After a humbling Week 5 loss to the Bears last year, Alex had very much the taste of that game still in his mouth as he watched film of the Bears this week. Ware grabs it on the outside, taking it to the 39. Yeah, Alex was saying just turning on the tape of that Week 5 game against the Bears turned his stomach a little bit.
Well, and during that, during that 5-game losing stretch, that's when it happened, and there weren't a lot of good feelings going on during that 5-game losing stretch in Chicago, being one of those games. So I would think that Alex turns on any of those films. There's a couple bright spots in a few of them, but for the most part, trying to get the season turned around, that was really one of the factors up here in Chicago a year ago.
Third down, Ware slips, falls right at the line of scrimmage. So Ware unable to turn it up on third and short. That's going to bring up fourth down.
Well, and I think this early in the game, they're going to go ahead and punt it away. There was some miscommunication in the backfield. You saw Demetrius Harris was in motion, and he ran into Spencer Ware on that handoff. So the timing of the whole thing just wasn't there. Whether it was Alex didn't give Demetrius enough time to get over far enough, or if there was supposed to be a fake one way and a handoff the other. However it turned out, it ends up being fourth down.
Colquitt hangs the punt. Ariani inside the 10, fair catch at the 6. So we'll see the Chiefs D against Jay Cutler and the Bears offense. Is brought to you by DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy sports destination. Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer. The Kansas City Steak Company, taste, it matters. And by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. At Soldier Field, the new look Soldier Field here in downtown Chicago, just outside central Chicago for preseason game number 3. And there is Phillip Gaines coming back from the ACL tear in week 3 of last season. Nelson out there as well. So we see a nickel look from the Chiefs defense first time out against the Bears.
Yeah, this could be our first look at Gaines. He's been able to get some practice in, get some practice snaps, but anytime you're coming back off an ACL to get out there in the field and test it a little bit, this will be a nice mental hurdle for him to get over.
Jay Cutler and the Bears offense against the Chiefs D. Cutler from the goal line. That's complete out to the 15-yard line. We take a look at the starting lineup for the Chiefs defense. Pretty set up front.
Well, they have several anchors along that front, but Jay Howard in his 5th year was re-signed this offseason. Last season with 11 tackles for loss and 5.5 sacks. The linebacker group, Derek Johnson anchors it down. You may see some different bodies once the regular season comes along, but that's who you have today. And then in the secondary, Ron Parker started all 16 games a year ago with 5 sacks and 3 interceptions.
Stuffed up the middle and immediately making an impact. You see D. Ford and Frank Zombo, some of those linebackers that are part of the jumbled linebacker group, getting in on the action.
Yeah, it was good to see Justin March, number 59, gets in on the tackle. You see Zombo and D. Ford. So 3 of the 4 linebackers are new bodies compared to last year's starting crew with Justin Houston, Tom Bahali, and Josh Mauga. But these guys are all trying to make an impact today and solidify their roster spots.
And look at Hypermo, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. The toss goes to Langford, who slips his way near the Chiefs near the 20 and has a first down for the Bears.
Well, this is a play that Derek Johnson traditionally makes. He sees the guard pulling and shoots the gap to get to the backfield. Normally that's a tackle he makes, and unfortunately for him, not able to bring him down, allows the Bears to get the first down. But that's where DJ's game has really improved. If you look at him over the course of his career, his film study, his understanding of what offensive lines are doing, what they're doing formation-wise, he can see those things, and that's why he's able to get to the backfield the way he is.
On the ground again, that's Langford. Breaking through for a gain of 9 near the first down as Daniel Sorensen, or Danny, makes a stop.
He's such a valuable player, Carter, and just not only from a special team standpoint, but as you see in his 3rd season, he's been able to fill in at a starter spot at either of the safety spots. He can do so many different things for you on the defensive side of the ball, but then also, you know, he's a big contributor special teams-wise.
They will move the chains, 1st and 10 for the Bears. And a flag down.
False start. Offense number 62. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Chatted with Daniel Sorensen yesterday, and for a guy who, as you said, has been a special team star for the Chiefs and now playing a bigger role now, yet to be determined what that role will be with Eric Berry. But for Daniel Sorensen, for now, a lot of snaps, a lot of action, and he has been impressive in the preseason.
Well, you'd see the numbers right there from last season. He played in all 16 games. They're going to find a way to get him on the field because Bob Sutton, from a defensive standpoint, likes to use multiple safeties, multiple corners, multiple linebackers, coming up with different schemes, different blitzes, different pressure packages to cause confusion for the protection and for the opposing quarterback.
Sorensen playing deep safety on 1st and long as Derek Johnson runs down Langford for no gain.
Now you want to see how he learns from one play to the next. So this time Derek reads the same thing. He sees the guard pull and he comes through. We get to it a little bit late, but on the first play, he gets stiff-armed, right? He gets stiff-armed, he doesn't make the tackle. That time the running back goes to stiff-arm him, and DJ does a little swipe move, knocks the arm down so he can't get the stiff arm in, and then goes in and makes and finishes the tackle.
See defensive coordinator Bob Sutton, the Ypsilanti native, began his career as a GA for Bo Schembechler in Michigan. Kevin White is getting back into the swing of things for the Bears. Ridden out again by the Chiefs D. Steve Nelson, along with Justin March there on the stop.
Well, and I think that's the thing that has impressed the defensive coaches so much is Justin March is sideline to sideline. Here's a guy you think of as an undersized guy. You think of, okay, what kind of impacts he's going to make. He comes in a class where all of a sudden Ramik Wilson and DJ Alexander, the 2 guys that are drafted, and Justin March just keeps working his tail off, and it's impressive.
Flag down as Cutler scrambles past the line of scrimmage, so he'll slide at the 32, and we check the flag. Got up.
Illegal formation offense. Number 70 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
So the Chiefs will get it right back. Tyreek Hill back to receive. Hill's going to have to run to go get it inside the 20. Tyreek Hill shaking his way across the 30-yard line, finds the sideline, finally knocked out near the 40 with a little burst from Tyreek Hill to set the Chiefs up with the football in good field position near the 40-yard line for Alex Smith and the first-team offense. Still scoreless in Chicago. Regular season is right around the corner. To claim your spot at Arrowhead, get your Chiefs season tickets now at Chiefs.com or by calling 888-99-CHIEFS. 2 weeks away from the regular season in that AFC West divisional matchup against the Chargers. So first drives this preseason. The first 2 weeks they were touchdowns for Alex Smith and the first offense. Able to move the ball against the Bears last time, but no points on the board as Smith completes to Sherman out of the backfield, which makes 5 completions to 5 different receivers for Alex Smith.
And there's new co-offensive coordinator Matt Nagy taking over the role of Doug Peterson, who left to be the head coach at Philadelphia. And Matt on the headset now. This is his first time doing it, calling the plays into Alex Smith on the field. This is something they've worked on the entire offseason through mini camps, OTAs, and training camp, is just getting those calls in. There's the other co-offensive coordinator, Brad Childress. Been a long time head coach and assistant coach in the National Football League.
So how does that work for you as a quarterback when you've obviously got everyone contributing to your offensive game plan, but you're hearing one voice in your headset?
Well, and that's the important thing when you get that one voice, and that was something I wanted to talk to Alex about and talk to Matt about and find out. You know, you have to figure out that voice. You know, you have to figure out, you get into a rhythm with the play caller, and sometimes that you know, when the play clock's running down, you have to be able to be very smooth with that. So the fact they've worked the entire offseason is going to be helpful going into the regular season.
Third and short now, second drive with 4 wide receivers. Smith out of the shotgun. Quick hitter, that's complete for a Chiefs first down. Demetrius Harris makes the grab just across midfield as the Chiefs convert.
Well, and that's a package that the Chiefs have tried to utilize several times. You see sitting down right in the gap, Demetrius Harris. That time with 3 tight ends on the field, Travis Kelce, Demetrius Harris, and Ross Travis. That's a matchup nightmare for a defense, because what do you put them on? You put safeties on them? Do you put linebackers on them? Do you come down with corners and nickel and dime coverage? So that's going to be a package that I think Chiefs fans will see a lot of this season. 6 completions to 6 different receivers now.
Hill in motion, they fake the sweep, hit Conley for another first down near the 35. So a little wrinkle with faking the sweep and then the completion to the outside.
Well, and that's just to cause confusion on the defense. That's to create passing lanes. So you see with the motion there of Tyreek Hill, that brings the underneath coverage out. That shows Alex Smith. As soon as that motion happens, Alex Smith recognizes that as man-to-man. And by leaving that void there, he knows he's got an open window with that slant. Now, if all of a sudden they stay in zone, then that tells Alex Smith he's going to a different part of the field on his read.
A look in Hyper-Mo brought to you by Michelob Ultra. 2 catches, 30 yards for Conley now. Play action from Smith. Pressured, and here's Smith on the roll. He'll take the sack. Back at the 39-yard line. Akeem Hicks gets the sack on Smith.
Well, and you can see Alex is going to be looking out to his left. You can see he's looking in the direction of Chris Conley going down the left sideline. As he comes back and works his way across the field, he takes off and flushes to the right. And is just brought down from behind. I'd give that one a coverage sack, Carter.
Don't blame it on the Alex Smith wheels, right?
He's proven he's got the wheels.
Ample wheels. Second and long, Smith over the middle. It's knocked away, incomplete. Before third down, I did want to get your thoughts on what you thought as we talk about the way the offense flows and for Alex Smith and taking over more command of the offense early in 2015 for Alex, more checks. And how big of a factor do you think that was for Alex's success, the Chiefs' success last year?
Well, I think it was a huge factor because his knowledge of this offense, it's not an offense that he knew before meeting Andy Reid and coming over here. So this is something he's really had to learn, and he's on the same page. The thing that Coach Reed talks about all the time is just how smart Alex is and how he gets everybody on the same page and how it's never too much for him. And I think that's continued to grow for him, and that's why he was so productive last season.
On the roll again, Smith with the wheels has a first down, scrambling inside the 25 on 3rd and 14. Smith rolls for 16.
Well, and there's the wheels we were just talking about, is his speed. Last year, the most rushing yards he's ever had in his career running the football. And the Bears go to man-to-man coverage. You turn your back, you're running with your receiver, and if you're able to break contain like Alex is with his speed, he's able to make that nice cutback and pick up the first down.
431 rush yards with no fumbles a year ago for Alex Smith. Handing off, Ware straight ahead to just inside the 16. Do you know someone who makes our community a better place to live, work, and play? Visit Chiefs.com/firstpass and nominate them to throw out the first pass at Arrowhead this season. Chiefs First Pass is powered by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. Carter Blackburn, Trent Green, DJ Kissel on the sideline. Pete Sweeney taking you through halftime. And what so far is a scoreless game. Second drive for Alex Smith and the Chiefs' first offense.
Look at this, 3 tight ends lined up right here. This is a matchup problem for the Bears and trying to draw the attention of the Bears defense.
To give Ware room to run up the middle, close to another first down.
Well, and you could see the Bears that time, they put 4 defenders over there. We don't know what combination they're going to do here, so let's put 4 defenders there, so that gives the advantage. So that's I don't know if that was the play call in terms of, hey, read the numbers, and this could be a run-pass check or go to wherever the advantage is, but by them overloading where those 3 tight ends were, that opened up things on the inside for the run game to get the first down.
For 1st and 10, Ware checks out Darren Reeves, the third-year pro out of UAB, who's getting a lot of look in the preseason. Andy Reid saying he is tough, very impressive. So there is Reeves on the 10th play of the drive, drilled as he hits the hole, slipped a little bit and then gets popped as soon as he reaches the hole. Darrell Freeman makes the stop.
Yeah, Reeves has been very impressive throughout the entire training camp. Coach is speaking very highly of not only his work ethic, but what he's been able to do on the field, but that time on the cutback getting popped.
That is the ominous end to the first quarter with the score 0-0. We'll return after these messages. You're watching Chiefs preseason football. Start of the second quarter, and we welcome our viewers on KFVE in Honolulu, Hawaii. The Chiefs Kingdom stretching all the way. I mean, they're watching in Kapa'atown on Kauai, watching KFVE in Honolulu. The westward reaches of Chiefs Kingdom.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Chiefs' second offensive drive. We'll get into pulled pork in a little bit, speaking of some Hawaiian classics. But first, Alex Smith in the first offense trying to close out this drive. 4 straight run plays after the Chiefs started this drive. 5 of 6 pass plays. Territory and crew going to get together. See Spencer Ware back in at running back. For these situations close to the goal line where Ware has excelled in his time as a Chief.
Not real sure what they're trying to get squared away.
Checking the spot as the football was moved in between quarters. Here's the obligatory mention that this is the preseason for everyone, right. And the chain gang and spotters. And all right, moved it back about.
And it's also the time where you mentioned Gene Steratore is also a Big Ten basketball official, right. So you know he's balancing a couple different things. It's not quite basketball season.
I do like when after Alex Smith ripped off that 16-yard run, Gene Steratore and he shared a little grin. Veteran guys appreciating what it means to be out there running with the young dudes. 11th play, Smith back to pass over the middle. He finds Macklin tackled inside the 5. But in heavy traffic, Smith finds Macklin.
Well, great job by the offensive line creating a pocket. Watch this pocket that's right around for Alex to step in. He slides over tackles, push the guy upfield. Your interior 3 keeps the wall up front so you can step up, slide out of the way. Gives you time to buy, and for that change the direction route that Jeremy Macklin ran, getting it to a 3rd and manageable down.
So 3rd and short on the 12th play of this drive that has already taken over 6 minutes. 3rd and 2 from inside the Bears' 4-yard line. From the shotgun, slant, caught Travis, but he's pushed back, bringing up 4th down. The 6'7" tight end, Ross Travis.
Well, when you're down in the red zone, here's that package with all 3 tight ends lined up out to the left. You can see by the change over on the far sideline, there is an ability to pick up a 1st down without getting into the end zone. But they're gonna, looks like they're going for the field goal.
Kicking unit coming out. Santos for a chip shot 20-yarder. This the 7th field goal attempt of the preseason against just 9 punts. Points on the board for the Chiefs. Smith capped off with a Santos field goal. Put this in your Chicago travel guide. Next time you're in the Windy City, Tunes Bar and Grill. So that's the place where the Chiefs Kingdom gathers. So this was last January in the Chiefs playoff win over the Houston Texans. Yeah, the old styles and the boulevards were being hoisted. You thought you spotted maybe some RC Colas in there. That's what the sisters who are here to root on the Chiefs are just enjoying some RC Colas as well. Chiefs Kingdom in the house. Hey, we had a pretty good Chiefs contingent make it to the White Sox game last night. It was Elvis night. Abe Froman was nice enough to set us up with some tickets.
Did you dress as Elvis?
I was actually a little bit miffed that my White Sox buddy, Abe, didn't let me know it was Elvis night, because maybe there would have been some.
He knew you were going to embarrass him?
Right, exactly. Right.
Would you go as young Elvis or older Elvis?
At this point, I'd go as young, but give me just a few years and the sequence start to expand. Chiefs will be coming home via Chicago with that famous backdrop. Yankee Hotel Foxtrot there in Chicago, Illinois, with the Bears and Chiefs preseason game number 3. It's a 3-0 start for the Chiefs after the field goal drive. So the Chiefs D back out there for their 2nd series against Jay Cutler and the Bears offense. Steve Nelson in at corner. Saw Phillip Gaines start at corner. Play action. Cutler over the middle. That is short and incomplete with Nelson defending. Fantasy football contests begin as soon as the regular season kicks off, and huge cash prizes are on the line. Head to DraftKings.com now to draft your lineup. Play for free with promo code CHIEFS only at DraftKings.com.
That ball called incomplete. Don't be surprised if John Fox throws the red flag on this, but don't see it coming out yet.
Sorensen deep at safety with Nelson and Peters at corner. Langford brings it back out to the 29. D. Ford and Derek Johnson combine on the stop. So D. Ford getting a lot of run again, trying to make his impact felt. An outside linebacker.
Well, and I think after last offseason, having those 4 sacks, people having big expectations for him. Former first-round pick, and obviously getting a lot of work here with Tama just coming back off his injury, and Justin Houston coming back off his injury.
And oh, by the way, 56 still making plays out of that linebacker core.
And oh, by the way, Derek Johnson, you can see him. He starts way on the right side of the screen, comes off and comes all the way around on the stunt to the backside. You'll see him. He comes all the way around. Sorensen comes in to take up the block of the running back, leaving Derek Johnson free to get the hit on Cutler.
So the Chiefs D forces a quick 3-and-out. Tyreek Hill back to receive the punt. Grabs it at the 35 and has a seam along the sideline again as Hill breaks it across the 50. So solid return. Derek Johnson in the D forces a 3-and-out. Hill gets 20 yards on the return. DJ takes down Mr. Cutler, and a 3-0 Chiefs lead in Chicago. Well, Mitchell Schwartz might be new to the Chiefs and the Chiefs Kingdom, but he is proficient around the grill. We had an in-depth discussion with Mitchell Schwartz about his barbecue proclivities. Said he's recently done a pork shoulder. That was first on his new green egg, but this is the ribs. So Trent, break this down for us.
And these are all the neighbors smelling it. The fact that he's smoking ribs, so they're all gonna come down and check out, see what he's got going. But it's good that he's acclimating himself to the Kansas City culture.
That is one of the perils when you get that thing fired up. As caught again by Macklin near another first down.
As the smells drift throughout the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But he's an offensive lineman, so they like to eat. So it's good that he's figuring out how to do the smoking thing.
Has a book coming out with his brother Jeff that we've discussed. Jeff, the former Chief, now in Detroit. Brothers offensive line about football, faith, family, and food. And so that obviously is going to lead into a discussion. Now, brisket is the next big challenge for Mitch, and we traded some tips back and forth. Got to get the right rub. Smith. Shotgun flings it to the outside. That's Albert Wilson making the grab.
So let me clear this up. You said you traded tips. So does that mean you were giving tips on?
That is correct. I have more brisket experience at this point than Mitch does.
You are a Texas guy, so yes, the Texas brisket thing is a.
And far be it from me to start giving barbecue tips in the middle of Chiefs Kingdom, but yeah. For more on the barbecue discussion, let's check in with BJ Kissel.
Carter, I was just going to back you up and confirm that you indeed were giving some tips out as well. It wasn't just a one-sided conversation.
Mitch asked, so, Wilson bobbles that one. It is an incomplete pass, bringing up third down.
Well, and I have to remind everyone that your first time, or one of your first visits to Kansas City, you went to Joe's and you had an entire slab of ribs, an entire order of burnt ends. And I asked if you finished the whole thing, and you said absolutely not. But I said, we got plenty of food.
We shared, and then a great trip to Jack Stack as well. So and I've still got several more on the list to check off.
Oh yes,
subsequent trips to KC.
Lots of places to try and lots of good barbecue.
So with the big man Mitchell Schwartz at right tackle. A successful pork shoulder. That's knocked away and incomplete. Conley looking for a flag, but one's not going to come in there as Jacoby Glenn knocks it away.
4th and 6 at the 36.
Going back to that curl route, or this time just a sit and stop route. The difference is when they had success with it early in the first quarter with Macklin and with Conley, it was corners off. That time with press corner, makes it a little bit more difficult. You have to be on time, so when you stop that, you turn around and the ball's right there. If there's that space in time for the corner to recover, that's generally what happens as he knocks it down.
Oakwood hits it near the 45. B.J. Daniels will let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback. So Oakwood unable to pen him back. We'll talk more about football and maybe barbecue when we come back to Chicago. 3-0. 3-0 Chiefs on the Bears. The day after every Chiefs win, get 50% off regular menu price online order using promo code KCChiefs at papajohns.com. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John, the official pizza partner of the Kansas City Chiefs. And just one more note on Mitchell Schwartz and the barbecue projects. He wanted us to give a big shout out to Bickelmeyer's Meats. That he said they've taken good care of him. He's pleased with the meat selection. That's when he goes back for brisket. It's going to be at Bickelmeyer's.
That's where he's going, huh? Well, how about this defense now getting back out on the field, and they like that transition?
Good transition.
And, the defense, we talked about them coming in and stuffing the run. That time stopped right on cue. First down, stuffing the run. Chicago, after the first quarter, up until this point, only has 29 yards of offense, and just been an impressive job by the front seven in particular. Not allowing the Bears any creases whatsoever. You can understand what the message from Bob Sutton was this week and the defensive coaches is, we can't do what we've done the last 2 weeks against LA and Seattle. They got to come out today and stick it to them. And as you can see, Chicago only 29 yards.
Only 2 first downs. The Bears haven't crossed the 50 yet. Cutler zips that one incomplete off the hands of Alshon Jeffrey, who was wide open after Peters fell down.
Well, and that was just perfect timing for the announcer Jinx, right? It was as you were finishing your sentence, but Alshon Jeffries did his part and dropped that one for Marcus Peters. Take a look at Bob Sutton there as he's getting this defense. We've seen a number of different players lined up. Philip Gaines back in now at corner, and Nelson in at the slot at the nickel.
Eric Murray back deep at safety as Cutler pressured, slips away. Past the line of scrimmage, so he slides for a very minimal gain on third down, but it's going to be another 3 and out forced by the Chiefs defense with the help of Alshon Jeffrey.
Well, and you mentioned Eric Murray being in there also. Daniel Sorensen was still in the ballgame. So they had 3 safeties, they had 4 corners, 2 linebackers, and 2 defensive linemen. So they're already getting into that mode of regular season where you're going to start bringing different combinations and different packages to try and cause confusion, whether it be from a pass route standpoint or a pass rush standpoint.
Frankie Hammond back to receive the punt. Backing up inside the 30. Hammond will field it at the 27. Another little slip. There was rain until just before game time here in Chicago. The Chiefs D locking in on the Bears. Get the football back to Smith. 5 away from halftime with Pete Sweeney. 3-0 Chiefs on the Bears. You see the read combination. Andy, defensive line coach Rick Reed. Spencer Ware takes the carry on first down. Talked to Dontari Poe last week about Britt Reed, and defensive line coach, and what he does. Yeah, there is no question who the captain of the ship is. The defensive line, that being Britt Reed. He said, yeah, there's also no question that Britt and Andy speak a very similar language.
Well, we just saw him talking to rookie Chris Jones, and when we had a chance to talk to Chris before week 1 of the preseason, he just said, Britt, you know, we asked about that father-son dynamic. He said, you know, Britt is out to prove a point. You know, he doesn't want to be there because he's the coach's son. He wants to be there because he's a good coach. And Chris Jones was saying the amount of time that Britt Reed puts in, he really does burn the midnight oil to make sure those guys have all the information they need.
They're in that discussion with Chris right there, the rookie out of Mississippi State. So Britt, who goes back with dad Andy to a training camp intern with the Eagles in 2009, worked his way up to that defensive line coach position under Bob Sutton and dad Andy Reid. The Chiefs offense with 3rd and short after Spencer Ware makes the grab out of the backfield. Wilson in motion out of the slot. Smith rolling to his right, looking as he throws, and it's complete just inside the 40 as Kelsey makes the grab. Smith takes the pop and delivers to Kelsey.
Well, Alex is feeling it a little bit, especially in his low back. You're going to see the shot that he takes. He slides over to his right to buy time, and that outside edge is contained. So he pulls up. The problem when you pull up, you can't see what's bearing down on you. You can see he gets hit right as he's throwing.
Willie Young delivers the big blow.
Travis Kelsey with the sliding catch in the first down, but Smith stays in the game.
Throws hit again. Knocked down this time by, there is a flag down. Mitch Unrein, and that's going to draw a flag.
Well, normally a quick 3-step drop like that, you're not going to get hit.
Roughing the passer defense. Number 98, contact to the head with the helmet. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Team Steratore saying it's the use of the helmet. See right in the middle of the screen. See how he drops his head and uses the crown of his helmet. Right upon impact, he drops his head, and that's the call they're going to get. And they're doing that for everybody. It's not just quarterbacks. It's the safety of both the player that's getting hit, but also the safety of the person that's doing the hitting, because you can give yourself a neck injury by dropping your head.
And that's one of the things they talk about, is lowering the strike zone. You can still hit him, but just get him in the chest. So Smith takes off running on first down with a block on the outside. Smith scrambles near another first down.
Well, considering the hits he's taken on the last 2 plays, I don't think the coaching staff was real excited to see Alex break contain here and take off running, but he did the wise thing by stepping out of bounds.
That look in Hypermo brought to you by Michelob Ultra. As Alex Smith goes scrambling for another gain at 10 plus with his feet. Picked up a couple of those today. Reeves joins him in the backfield. Set first down. Pickup of 8, so 2nd and 2 now. Smith, quick hitter, bobbled. Incomplete, intended for Hill. So Tyreek on the outside lets it slip through.
Well, and this is just Tyreek Hill being guilty of trying to run before catching the ball, or completely catching the ball. And Chiefs are actually lucky that ball doesn't get intercepted, because as it pops up in the air, you can see the 2 defensive backs right there to grab it out of the air. So Chiefs fortunate that hits the ground and give him a 3rd and short.
Anthony Sherman over to chat with Tyreek after the drop. So 3rd and 2. Spencer Ware back next to Alex Smith. To throw on 3rd and 2 over the middle. That's complete. Kelsey makes the grab for a first down at the 11.
Kelsey's going to be lined up on the inside of this ISO formation. He's just coming on a drag across the screen. You see Ross Travis getting up the field, pushing the middle coverage to hold the safety to depth, and then Macklin on the outside with the drag route. So it's really a staggered route for Alex to pick. If Travis Kelsey's covered, then he's got Macklin right behind him. But with the accurate throw, picking up the first down.
Just outside the Bears 10. Bears have barely moved the football. Chiefs trying to be the first in the end zone. Ware takes it just inside the 10.
Well, that's the thing so far in the preseason. The Chiefs have been very productive down in the red zone, converting touchdowns and not necessarily settling for field goals. Today, have yet to get into the end zone.
Last drive stalled inside the 5, so a chip shot field goal for Santos. 8th play coming up. Over 3 minutes. The total offense now 169 for the Chiefs, only 30 for the Bears. Now can Alex Smith and the Chiefs offense capitalize with a touchdown? The throw again to the end zone, incomplete, intended for Macklin. Solid coverage by Hall.
You got Macklin one-on-one on the outside, and this is just a stutter and go, and you're trying to throw a back shoulder to the outside cone. That time Alex is putting it a little too low and too far outside. You get that ball up around shoulder height, he maybe has a chance to get it, but with the defender right on his hip, that's a tough ball to dig out.
There's that amazing discrepancy. Credit to the Chiefs defense for tightening up against the Bears. Now trying to punch it in. 3rd and 8. Heavy pressure coming from the Bears to the outside. Incomplete. Intended for Albert Wilson, with the Bears bringing the house on 3rd down. Freeman leading the pressure.
Well, that's unfortunate for Albert Wilson because he has a lot of space out there. Doesn't necessarily have blockers in front of it. Almost looks like the way Alex dropped it was going to be a screen, but there was no one out there as far as a wall to block for him. So it would have just been the matter of Albert getting the ball in space, having one-on-one, maybe make a cutback and pick up the touchdown. But instead, Cairo Santos settling for the field goal attempt.
Last one was from 20. This one from 28. Good hold put down by Colquitt. Santos boots it through. So back-to-back drives for Smith and the Chiefs inside the Bears 10. Field goals to show, but a 6-0 lead. A pair of short field goals by Cairo Santos, only scoring in the game. Our scoring summary brought to you by the Kansas City Steak Company. 10 plays, 40 yards. And yet, drive inside the 10. Second straight time, field goal the result for the Chiefs.
Well, and it is a heavily lopsided game when you look at total yards. It's offensively, the Chiefs have been moving the ball up and down the field, but as you said, it's still a one-possession game. So if you're the Bears, yes, you haven't been moving the ball, but I think if you're Jay Cutler, that's the pep talk you're giving on the sideline. If you're Alex Smith, you can see Coach Reed's over there with Matt Nagy, as well as they're all on the tablet looking around because they've got to get it solved, especially down in the red zone.
B.J. Daniels fields it just before the goal line, gets it across the 20-yard line for the Bears after the kickoff from Santos. So the stellar effort from the Chiefs defense has kept Chicago off the board. 6-0 Kansas City. Number 3, sparkling effort by the Chiefs D.
Well, and that was one of the areas that they needed to address coming into this game. Derek Johnson shooting the gap after the guard pulling, chopping the stiff arm attempt by the Bears. And here's DJ once again on the stunt, coming around, twisting in, coming up free, and getting to the quarterback. So defense playing much better today. Bob Sutton having these guys dialed in. Only 30 yards of offense for the Bears. And not much doing on first down again. Stuff in the run game. It was Rodgers the ball carrier for the Bears, with Poe and Jones combining on the stop. Learn more about Chiefs Checking from Central Bank, the official bank of the Kansas City Chiefs, by visiting centralbank.net/ChiefsChecking. Carter Blackburn with big Northwestern football fan Trent Green. DJ Kissel's on the sideline. Cutler, pass is batted in, incomplete, bringing up third down quickly again. Chris Jones gets his big paw on it. Well, that's 2 plays in a row now that Chris Jones has been involved in the play. That time just swim move on the tackle and getting into the backfield, able to get his hand up and knock the ball away. Luckily for Jay Cutler, that didn't get intercepted when the ball's tipped that high in the air. 4 passing yards, and here it is on third down and long. It's incomplete. That number sticks on 4, and the Chiefs defense forces another 3 and out by Jay Cutler and the Bears. Well, and you hear some of the boos coming out of the stands. Jay Cutler and this offense haven't had a very exciting preseason in terms of their production with the passing game, so some unpleasant fans here at Soldier Field. Backup quarterback right now for the Bears is Brian Hoyer, who did not have a good outing against the Chiefs defense in that playoff game when he was with Houston. Frankie Hammond backs up inside the 20. Slipping across the 25, Hammond gets back out to the 30. So that's 3 straight 3 and outs by the Bears offense against the stout Chiefs D. This is quite a bounce back effort from Bob Sutton's first team defense after struggling against the Rams in week 2. Yeah, the Rams put together a heck of a first drive a week ago, and a lot of that was due to Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley is one of the best backs in the league and quickly became one of the best backs in the league. But they've got to turn around today. Heck of a job, as you mentioned. 3 series in a row, 3 and out, holding them to right around the 30-yard mark in total offense. So Bob Sutton getting these guys, and you still have to remember that this isn't a game. Even though you're trying to get dialed in for your game planning, this isn't a game where you're bringing a lot of your pressure packages and blitz packages, which is something that Bob Sutton likes to use. As we expected, deep into the first half, Alex Smith and the first team offense still back out there. Smith complete, Macklin on the outside, near a first down. We talked with Alex yesterday about what made this training camp, this preseason special. He said, hey, 4th year and the offense had you usually hit a wall somewhere as you're building the offense and installing things. And he really didn't think like the offense hit a wall during preseason and training camp this year. On second and short, he finds Ware for a first down. Stays inbounds, or did he? Steps out right, short of the 50-yard line. Still first down. Well, they're just taking right now. Alex is recognizing what the deep first down. They had off corner, just come out and hit that curl route. This time you get Ware out of the backfield. He's matched up with a linebacker, can't get out there in time. So take the easy throw and get the yards after catch. Smith to the outside, incomplete, intended for Conley. But what do you think that spells for Chiefs offense when, different training camps, different preseasons have different feels, but Alex said he thought that they were able to push through pretty smoothly so far. Well, and I think a lot of it has to say the fact that they're in year 4. It's year 4 for Alex, year 4 for Andy Reid, and I think a lot of these guys are starting to feel comfortable with the routine. They understand what to expect coming into training camp. They understand what to expect from an installation period for the offense. I just think it's an overall comfort zone of where everybody is as an offense and how they want to expand it and how they want to grow it. Caught again. Boy, big grab by Demetrius Harris, who's made a couple nice catches in traffic. Another first down to the Bears 32. Well, and this has been a development in patience for the Chiefs. You know, Demetrius Harris, they've been trying to get him to this point where they can utilize him in a number of different packages. Yes, he's dealt with some injuries over the last couple of years, and it's just getting comfortable with the NFL game, and he looks to be a big weapon. If you go off what they've done in the preseason, how they've utilized him, and the fact you've got Travis Kelce in there, and we've seen several times today with Ross Travis, a couple of Demetrius Harris and Ross Travis both being 6'7" tight ends, it gives you a lot of options in the middle of the field.
Tracy Porter down on the field for the Bears. Demetrius Harris, who has 10 catches in his career, one of them a Week 17 touchdown versus the Raiders. For the former basketball player for University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. But you figure with all of the looks that the tight ends have gotten, all the different packages that we've seen from Matt Nagy and Brad Childress and Andy Reid in this Chiefs offense, that those tight end packages aren't just for the preseason. We're going to see a whole lot more of those looks in the regular season in 2016.
Well, and as we've stated several times throughout the course of the preseason, it's just matchup nightmares. It's you know, how are you gonna, you got 2 6'7" tight ends and you got a Pro Bowler as the third guy. So it's, you know, which guys are you going to defend with them? You decide to put a bunch of small guys on there, small guys out on the field, small athletic guys that try and do the coverage thing. Well, then the Chiefs are just going to run the football because you got them outsized. If you decide to put big bodies on them, then it's an athletic mismatch for the Chiefs. So it's really a nice problem to have for Andy Reid and the offense.
That grab by Harris goes for 19 yards. The Chiefs offense has 9 plays of 10+. The Bears have 1 10+ play. So, you know, it's still a 6-0 game. And again, Tracy Porter, the defensive back, down for the Bears. So that's why the delay in the game is the Bears training staff tends to Tracy Porter. But it's been a successful run. You see Ross Travis come out, and Andy Reid said they would give Ross Travis a few more runs as well. Here's Ross Travis at Penn State.
Yeah, last time he played football was in 9th grade in high school. So getting out on the field and taking a hit, and he's made the transition back to football pretty well.
Not bad. Not bad at all. And you have both Harris and Travis out there as Porter makes his way off the field for the Bears. So lots of numbers favoring the Chiefs, including the score 6-0. But you know, for this first offense, before their day is done, they want to put it in the end zone.
Well, and there's that package. You can see it right there with Kelce, Ross Travis, and Demetrius Harris, and Macklin, you know, the fourth receiver in that group. So
this is the 39th play for the Chiefs offense. The Bears have run only 16. Smith, there's the deep shot from Macklin, incomplete, into double coverage.
Well, and that's what I think they're going to try and do. They're going to try once again. It's a matchup deal when you have those bodies out there. And this time, Alex thinks he has a shot down the middle of the field, and maybe a little tug of the jersey, but
they've been letting
what do you call
it go.
That? Uncatchable? Just let it go?
Maybe.
Right?
I looked rather catchable if maybe there wasn't a tug on the jersey. I always think that doesn't come into play all that often. We say, well, if there wasn't the contact, then maybe it was catchable. 2nd and 10. It's Tyreek Hill on the sweep as Hill breaks it for a first down. Unable to tiptoe to keep it in bounds from Moore, but there's the burst we've been looking for from Tyreek Hill.
Well, and if you time that out with the motion, watch how he comes in motion, and they time it out so right when he gets the ball, he's getting out on the around the edge. They're able to seal the edge. It almost becomes like a punt return for him. He's out in space. He's got a couple of lead blockers. It's having the patience to read those blocks. And here we go down to the knocking on the door of the red zone right at the 21-yard line.
2-minute warning with the Chiefs on top of the Bears. 6-0, looking to punch it in. All the numbers in the game favor the Chiefs big over the Bears, but it is only 6-0. So an important final 2 minutes of the first half for Alex Smith and the Chiefs offense as they try to put some separation. The first down's 14-2. I mean, it's just been a dominant performance, but no trips to the end zone yet for the Chiefs.
Well, and I think that's why you have to be careful when you talk about the stats. There's a lot of coaches don't like talking about stats. They just want to talk about the score. And And I think if you're John Fox, that's what you're selling to your guys. You know, who cares how lopsided it is? You know, time of possession, first downs, yards rushing, yards receiving. You know, the fact is the score is still within reach. So it's important for the Chiefs to punch it in here.
Sound like a guy who's been on both sides of that equation.
Yes, I've heard both sides of the speech.
Smith over the middle, caught in traffic. Ware makes the grab as he picks his way to the 15. Another tight window completion.
Well, they are under 2 minutes here, but they do have all 3 timeouts, so taking their time in and out of the huddle. A little bit more up-tempo than normal, but still plenty of time with those 3 timeouts.
2nd and 5 with Macklin on the near side, Wilson on the far side. Smith setting up the screen. It's Sherman who slips away for a first down inside the 10. Loose football. Who's on top? Big pile inside the 5. It is still slipping through there after the fumble from Sherman on the screen.
That thing squirted loose about 3 different times. After it popped out of Sherman's hands, it looked like the Bears had it, and then the Chiefs had it, and it came out again, and maybe Kelsey was the last one to dive in there and grab a hold of it.
And it will be Chiefs football. So you see 2 drives stall out inside the 10 and nearly a fumble to stall a 3rd. But somehow the Chiefs back on top.
Oh, nice job by Sherman avoiding the first tackler, and he gets out in open space, has the first down, but it's the tackler coming from behind that's able to chop, and it looks there that the Bears have it right here with the chop. Ball comes loose.
Look at Hypermo, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. So spotted at the 9, 1st and goal. Smith incomplete, intended for Ross Travis on the fade. Looking for one of those big tight end targets, the 6'7" Ross Travis. Call that alley-oop.
Yeah, you see the match up there in the corner. You have one-on-one, and I don't know if Alex just wasn't comfortable with the position of the corner. It's like, I'm going to throw this so high, either Ross is going to catch it or nobody is, but I don't think he had that much vertical to go get that ball.
So 2nd and goal. After the Chiefs recover the fumble to keep the drive alive. Smith looking to throw again. Macklin bobbles, hauls it in just short of the goal line. So it's a catch from Macklin inside the 1 with 23 seconds left in the half.
Yeah, by the time he gathers it, this is a good spot. As much as Jeremy Macklin was saying, I rolled into the end zone, the contact happened. You can see the ball short before he extends it. So Chiefs call timeout.
But you don't have any doubt where the football is and where the contact made short of the goal line.
Right. Even though he was bobbling it when the contact was made, there was still contact with Jeremy Macklin as he finally secured that ball. It was just short. You can see Macklin with 5 catches, 44 yards. This ball being down inside the 1, or appears to be inside the 1. We're about the opposite 15-yard line. So. It appears to be inside the 1. Let's see.
Yeah, just inside the 1. So this is 3rd and goal from just inside the 1. Kelsey goes in motion. Ware gets the handoff. Ware pushing. Appears to be short. Waiting for an official signal. Touchdown! Ware somehow sneaks in for a Chiefs touchdown.
Well, it's just the quarterback in me, but as they're making the decision whether it's a touchdown or not, 5 seconds rolled off the clock as the official runs in there. So you can see that initial wave. I thought with the initial wave it looked like he got across. Then he bounced back, and then when the pile was pushed, he ends up getting the ball to the goal line. So just remember, all it has to do, there's a pane of glass right there at that white line. All you have to do is break that pane of glass. It's not you have to get the whole ball in there, into the green space. It's that white line. It just has to touch the white line.
There is a flag down in the end zone, so Gene Steratore and crew settling this one out. But it's another phenomenal effort near the goal line by Spencer Ware with that push against the Bears D to get it across for the touchdown. For 2015 season, in which he had 6 rushing touchdowns, becoming a force around the goal line for the Chiefs.
After the touchdown was ruled, we have unsportsmanlike conduct on the running back that scored for rolling into the end zone after he was on the ground. It's a 15-yard penalty that will be enforced after the review of the play.
Scoring play reviewed. That's an interesting explanation from Gene Steratore there.
But he said unsportsmanlike on Spencer Ware.
Right, for rolling in the end zone after the touchdown. So Andy Reid wants to get an explanation on that, as you might understand, as to what Spencer Ware did after the touchdown to get an unsportsmanlike conduct. Touchdown stands, it is being reviewed, all scoring plays, but...
See, I don't see how you can overturn this because I don't know how there's going to be enough evidence to overturn it. The fact there you can see him fall down with the ball in the left arm. It looks like it breaks the plane. See if this is a better view. I don't...
So that's the touchdown.
Let's see where the unsportsmanlike comes into play here.
All right, play's over.
Oh, he went to the ground. Can't go to the ground. As soon as you go to the ground in celebration, it's going to be. So you do the, even though it's just a somersault, people are like, how is that excessive? If you go to the ground at all, whether you go down, what do you?
Yeah, well,
the worm, the centipede,
Sonic
whatever
the Hedgehog,
that is. The old dance you used to do?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What do you mean used to? That's out of style now?
Right.
I rely on Trent for my dance move updates.
You just wanted to do the Quan.
Right.
You wanted to do the Quan.
That's my Quan.
That's right.
That's my Quan. So the little Sonic the Hedgehog roll there from Spencer Ware is what draws that flag.
What'd you just call it? The Hedgehog?
So, yeah, the Hedgehog. Little Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
Yeah.
So this will get you a flag, the Sonic the Hedgehog.
15 yards worth.
Get it into the preseason.
Yeah, learn your lesson now.
So the touchdown stands as of now, being reviewed as a scoring play. No challenge, but being reviewed. Looked like a touchdown, and I think, as you said, Trent, more importantly, not enough visual evidence to rise to that level of indisputable video evidence.
That's right. It'll come back and say, they won't say confirmed, it'll just, it stands.
11 plays, 70 yards, 339, and the 1-yard touchdown. And now Gene Steratore out to give us the official word shortly.
After review, the ruling on the field stands and will be ruled a touchdown. The unsportsmanlike conduct on the running back from Kansas City will be penalized on the kickoff.
So put it in the books now. Touchdown for Spencer Ware. The most important part is that Ware and the Chiefs offense gets into the end zone. So after a dominant first half, there's a touchdown to show for it. And with 10 seconds left in the half, a PAT away from being 13-0. Jairo Santos has a couple of short field goals, and now the PAT. 13-0 Chiefs. As Spencer Ware pushes his way in, literally from a yard out, to cap the touchdown drive for the first team offense.
Isn't it crazy that the 2 field goals
Yes.
are so much shorter than the extra point now?
Yes.
But I like it. I don't know how you feel about it. I like the fact when they moved the extra point back. I think it's added some excitement to a bunch of games around the league. I know there were a lot of not a lot of people in the NFC North that were real happy about it, because they're like, the weather's going to be different here in Chicago or in Green Bay. Now with Minnesota, they played outside stadium the last couple of seasons. Those are going to be factors as opposed to playing in some domes or some warm weather. So, but it's added some excitement to that part of the game.
It also was amazing how quickly you get used to it. Now entering year 2 with the long PAT, you're just used to seeing it, where it looked like so bizarre going into 2015, much like the touchback coming out to the 25 is going to look different this year, and as we've discussed, going to play into a little more strategy as teams try to keep it short out of the end zone and rally to pin teams back like you would more on a punt.
That has been the case for the Chiefs for most of the preseason, is trying to do a high short kick, but now from the 20 they're just going to try a squib.
Squib with the seconds winding down, so Rob Hausler picks it up for the Bears out of bounds with 6 seconds to go in the half.
Now this is an interesting. That's not exactly the squib I think they wanted. Now the Bears can either try getting a short completion and call a timeout. They can go ahead and try a Hail Mary right here. That all of a sudden changes the last few seconds of the half.
This will be the first play that the Bears run in Chiefs territory, and it's because of the penalty leading to the squib kick at the end of the half. So first time the Bears cross the 50.
You technically have to count that, right?
You technically have to count that. This is the Chiefs territory, and it's an offensive snap. Flag down, false start. So
no, it's not. No, it's
back to the 50.
Number 17 of the offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down. Please reset the game clock to 6 seconds.
The groans from the Bears fans.
Yes. It wasn't boos. It was just the big groan. Like, are you kidding me?
Time to go for a broad.
You sampled one of those, didn't you?
Yes.
Good?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Very good. All right.
Better than the Chicago dog at the White Sox park last night. And here's another flag.
Oh.
Snap. Kansas City has called its second charge timeout of the
Instead,
half.
timeout Kansas City.
Timeout.
Prior to the snap. So the Chiefs may not have liked something they had set up in the defense. They used a timeout prior to this Hail Mary before the end of the half. Before heading to Arrowhead this year, remember these tips. Prepay for parking online to save time and money. Get to the stadium early for faster entry, and be sure to visit Chiefs.com/parking to prepare your own parking game plan, including Thursday against the Packers. Preseason game number 4 back at Arrowhead to close out the preseason. Getting ready for that Week 1 matchup to get divisional play started against the Chargers. So back into Bears territory. Fling it to the outside. It is incomplete. There's 30 seconds. Now they're not groaning. They're officially booing.
Yeah, and that's worth a boo. That was a terrible throw. I'm not sure what they were trying to do there. That was just they're clearing everybody out. They're throwing a short pass, trying to make it a more manageable Hail Mary, I believe. I don't think they would have had time to get down and trying to get into field goal range, and yeah, that was just ugly.
Well said. Cutler scrambling. He fumbles the football. Recovered by the Bears, and that is how the first half ends. Dominant for the Chiefs. Frustratingly disappointing for the Bears fans here at Soldier Field. An inept first half for the Bears, but the Chiefs able to capitalize with a 13-0 lead here in Chicago. We'll head to the studio with Chiefs reporter Pete Sweeney for the 65 Toss Power Trap halftime show. After this break, you're watching Chiefs preseason football. Green, BJ Kissel on the sideline, Carter Blackburn. A first half dominated by the Chiefs against the Bears, and most importantly, a touchdown to show for it for the Chiefs on that last drive of the first half.
Well, and it was a completely lopsided half if you think about how well the Chiefs offense did and how well the Chiefs defense did in stopping Chicago, and we're going to take a look at that drive of the game.
That drive of the half presented by Hy-Vee, where there's a smile in every aisle.
First it comes off starting with Demetrius Harris over the ball, and then the screen pass to Sherman. The Chiefs are fortunate after the fumble that they get this ball back, and then the big completion to Macklin down inside the one before Spencer Ware punches it in. As you said, Carter, a lot of production in the first half with this offense, but they hadn't been getting the ball into the end zone, settling for those 2 field goals. So getting that touchdown right before the half was key.
And the Farmland game summary, look at how lopsided every one of those numbers is in favor of the Chiefs, including with the big fumble and sack at the end of the first half. -7 passing yards for Jay Cutler in the Bears.
8 minutes time of possession, total yards 20. I didn't know how much the Bears were going to miss Adam Gase, their offensive coordinator, now the head coach for the Miami Dolphins, but pretty apparent this first half. I think they're missing him quite a bit.
And for more, let's check in with BJ Kissel.
All right, thanks, Carter. I had a chance to talk with Coach Andy Reid going into halftime. He's obviously happy with the way the defense responded this week, particularly the run defense. He liked that they got after the quarterback a little bit. And I asked him about the fact that Alex Smith threw the ball 30 times in the first half. He said that wasn't necessarily the plan. It's just the way that it worked out, where they threw the ball twice as much as they attempted to run the ball there in the first half.
And more offensive snaps means more offensive throws when your defense is dominant and the offense is moving the football. So we'll see how much of Alex Smith and that first team offense we have in the second half after leading the touchdown drive. 36 yards rushing. Those are the preseason numbers total. So including a couple of big runs for Alex today, picking up 16 on a 3rd and long.
I think we've seen the end of Alex Smith. I see, obviously he's got the baseball hat on. He obviously can drop that off and put a helmet on pretty quick. But I think when you look at 30 throws in the first half, the fact that he had the 2 rushes for 25 yards, he took several big hits. I don't think you need to see any more out of Alex Smith.
B.J. Daniels lets it sneak through for a touchback, so it will be Bears football at the 25-yard line as the Bears offense tries to get on track against the Chiefs D.
Jay Cutler, a whopping 2 of 7 for 11 yards.
All right, this is preseason, and with all of that being said, the feeling of consternation from the Bears fans at Soldier Field, you would have to say, pretty justified.
Coming into this game, I had read some of the stuff that was going on, but after seeing it, and I know the Chiefs defensively are playing the best they've played all preseason, but I can understand why there's some concern.
And that one caught by Jeffrey. I'm not sure if that was the intended receiver, but Jeffrey holds it in right at the sticks.
Well, and considering the number of drops and missed throws that happened in the first half, this is an incredible catch. I don't know how he gets it, because it's you couldn't ask the coverage to be any tighter.
Deeper into the Chiefs secondary now. Jamel Fleming makes that stop, the 5th-year pro out of Oklahoma. Ron Johnson back there as well. Kadeem Carey out of Arizona, the ball carrier for the Bears across the 40-yard line. So getting deeper into the Chiefs defense here to begin the second half, with including Fleming and Johnson back at safety from Bob Sutton's unit.
Well, and I know Andy Reid talked about the offensive starters on both sides of the ball playing into the 3rd quarter, but I think with the production in the first half, that's why you see a number of the backups in here defensively for the Chiefs as well.
Cutler complete. Again close to the sticks. That last first down for the Bears, Jeffrey makes the grab again. That was the first down for the Bears since their opening drive.
Yeah, it was a dominant first half by the Chiefs defensively. We talked about that in the what to watch segment at the beginning of the game, stopping the run, and not only did they stop the run, but they, as you said, -7 yards passing in the first half, so they got after the quarterback as well.
2nd and short, Kadeem Carey able to pick up the first across midfield as the Bears offense finally crosses the 50 against the Chiefs D. So Daddy Nicholas in there on the tackle along with Nicholas Williams.
Yeah, the only guys I see out on the field defensively that got some snaps in the first half are Chris Jones and Eric Murray. Pretty much everybody else is getting on the field for the first time here for the Chiefs defensively here in the second half.
Play action. Cutler pressured, check down, complete. But a nice open field tackle from Daddy Nicholas, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, 6th-round pick of the Chiefs.
Well, and Chris Jones, you're going to watch the athleticism and the strength. You see the long arms, able to push the pocket there. That's why they're excited about it. That's why Bob Sutton's excited about it. Andy Reid's excited about him, because not only is he a quick, fast, athletic guy, but you can see the power there, just pushing the center right back into Cutler's lap.
Carey straight ahead, met in the hole, and he is shoved back by Ramik Wilson, leading the way. Nice tackle in the hole from Wilson. Malumba joins him there. Ramik Wilson, the second-year player out of Georgia, with a solid stop.
Well, and that's been a continual battle throughout all of training camp, with Josh Malga being injured and missing most of the preseason. The Chiefs have gone back and forth between Ramik Wilson and Justin March as to who that starting linebacker next to Derek Johnson is going to be. Justin March getting the start today, but Ramik Wilson getting plenty of snaps as well.
Wilson's big moment in 2015, the fumble recovery for a touchdown against the Bears. Incomplete. That was low, intended for Jeffrey again, with Jerron Johnson in coverage.
That ball low and away there by Cutler. Jeffrey's trying to dig it out. Ball hitting the ground.
We were talking about Chris Jones and generating a pass rush as the Bears offense stays on the field for fourth down. It's one of the biggest questions about the Chiefs, Steve. With Justin Houston's return uncertain, how they're going to generate more of a pass rush until Justin Houston's back. Here comes the pass rush. Cutler able to complete. Carey has it out of the backfield inside the 30 as the Bears finally begin to move the football against the Chiefs' backups.
Well, and you also have to remember, for the Bears, this is the first time in a long time they're without Matt Forte. Not only from a running standpoint, but his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Here the Bears utilize that part of the passing game, and deciding to move on from Forte, that's going to be another question mark as this Bears team progresses towards the regular season.
Forte now in jet, so Kadeem Carey starting to get a look out of the backfield for the Bears. Cutler leaves that one incomplete as he is popped by Daddy Nicholas.
Pass intended for Carey is incomplete.
Well, you talked about the pass rush just a second ago, Carter, and where it's going to come from. Once again, Chris Jones getting, that time using the speed, not necessarily the power, but instead of the bull rush, he tries getting up and underneath and getting upfield, causing Cutler to slide over to where Daddy Nicholas was coming from. So keeping or making the quarterback move off of that spot is an important part of it to allow your edge rushers to get there.
That was bobbled, and it is an incomplete pass. Very close to a fumble on the outside. Kevin White, who's just working his way back in for the Bears, drops what was barely an incomplete pass.
Yeah, from our angle, that was a quick whistle, so the official was obviously in position to make that happen, but that was very close to being a backward throw, which would make it a run, which pick it up and run the other way, but quickly blown dead.
3rd and 10. Pressure off the edge from White. Cutler's pass is incomplete. DJ White coming on a corner blitz.
4th and 10 at the 30.
Well, not bad coverage there by the Chiefs, but there was a room there for Cutler to lay the football. And once again, we hear the grumblings of the Bears fans. So
48-yard field goal attempt coming from Robbie Gould. .48-yarder from Gould wobbles its way, no good. And still a 0 on the board for the Bears. 13-0 Chiefs. Who's the quarterback coming out to begin the third quarter? We'll find out. Not going to make you wait long to answer that question before the break. The Chiefs quarterback to begin the third quarter is Nick Foles, and since signing on August 3rd, here's first couple of weeks for Foles as a Chief, including last week, solid outing against the Rams.
Well, and he's acclimated very quickly to this offense. Yes, he had the 1 year with Andy Reid back in 2012, but quite a bit has changed in this offense, and Coach Reid was very open about that because he's made some adjustments to what Alex Smith likes and what Andy Heck does from a pass protection standpoint. So Nick Foles has quickly adapted.
Backups in all around. That pass is incomplete. Intended for Reeves out of the backfield. Good pop from Jonathan Anderson. So Alex Smith, 20 for 30. You see the numbers, and most importantly, a touchdown drive to close out the first half for Alex Smith and the first team offense. So content to keep that baseball cap on.
Yes, and remains to be seen if Alex will play in the 4th preseason game against Green Bay. But if it is done for the preseason, he's put together quite a resume here through the three preseason games.
Reeves in the backfield, play action to him. Foles is going to pump. Look for the check down. It is incomplete. Intended for Brian Parker. Need a place to host your upcoming fantasy football draft? Turn a suite at Arrowhead into your draft headquarters on September 5th. Sign up today for the all-inclusive fantasy football draft event presented by DraftKings. For information, visit ChiefsFantasyDraft.com.
There's a few guys that I can think of from a fantasy standpoint on this Chiefs roster, right? Kelsey's put up big numbers. Alex obviously has put up some big numbers. Jamal, if he's healthy and how much he's going to play. You know, that's the thing you have to factor in when you're taking running backs is how much are they going to rotate.
That's Foles complete to Tyreek Hill for his biggest grab of the preseason inside the Bears 40. 22-yard gain to Tyreek Hill.
Look at the protection. Plenty of space for Foles to step up in the pocket.
And guess what? A holding penalty is going to wipe it out.
Maybe that's why the pocket was that way. Sometimes that happens, right?
Sometimes that happens. Well, Tyreek Hill makes the 22-yard grab. It's going to be wiped out. But, you know, as we discuss draft and fantasy drafts and your opportunity to get your fantasy team ready in September 5th and the draft. And yeah, as we talk all things draft, John Dorsey slides in to join us now. Now, I mean, there's a reason it's fantasy, right? What you do is the reality draft, but I imagine that you would have some tips for fantasy players and Chiefs fans as they begin to draft their fantasy team, right?
Exactly. You know, I think Mark Donovan and his staff do a wonderful job in hosting that event here. And the one thing that I've always...
Wow, Tyreek Hill holds it in. Speaking of fantastic picks.
That's a nice catch.
Wow.
Very much. But what I was saying is the enthusiasm that everybody shows in that week, it's fascinating. And yes, I'll be there, and I'm going to go around like I always do. And if there was something I had to say to those people, I'd say, stay true to your board. There
you go. Well, I like it. Well, that was something you did with Tyreek Hill, right?
You know what? His speed is starting to show, and he's starting to mature into the offense, and you saw his ability to return punts.
Well, that was like catching a punt, John.
Exactly.
That's exactly what it was.
He caught it with his hand.
Foles just threw that ball about 60 yards in the air, and he probably threw it 50 yards up in the air. And so he just came back and caught a punt, really. That's what it was.
Yep.
So after a 22-yard catch gets wiped out, he gets a 58-yard catch. And then Reeves takes it to the 12. That was some of the flash I know that you've seen a lot of from Tyreek Hill on the field, and he started to show it in these preseason games.
Yeah, you know, if you go back all the way to Oklahoma State and then you watch him at West Alabama, you could see the dynamic speed. The one thing you always wondered is, could he make the adaptation to a wide receiver? And he's shown that in OTAs, in training camp, and now in the preseason games.
You know, we talked about the versatility of the offensive line and the job that Andy Heck did a week ago when we were in Los Angeles. We were talking about that. You never want to happen the scenario that happened today, where all of a sudden you come out for pregame and Mitch Morse is your starting center. He's getting all the works, but then because of a sickness, you plug Zach Fulton in. Just talk about how valuable that is to have guys you can plug in.
Well, you know, all along what we've tried to do is acquire as much depth as we could at that position. And, you know, Zach does a wonderful job. He stands up, you know, he stood in there for Mitch. He did a really good job here in the first half. And, you know, that's the versatility we talk about. Can he play guard? Can he play center? Can he play tackle? Can he play guard? And we think that we have some of those players on our team and our offensive line. And, yes, Andy's done a nice job.
Well, to have it done that quickly, all of a sudden right before kickoff it happens. And I'm sure there's some awareness in the locker room, but still being thrown in there when you know the majority of the work has gone to Mitch, it's quite impressive having those guys in that position.
Yeah, and what Zach has done is he's he's taken snaps at the center position during the week of practice, and that's part of his role, and I think he understands that, and he does a very nice job with that.
Timeout KC prior to third down. So as we near this next week where there's going to be cuts and you're starting to get down to some of these position roster battles, not asking for specifics on where you're looking, but how does that work as an organization when you're coming down to decisions about the first cut and then getting down to 53?
Well, as Trent will tell you in the tester, to me, these next 2 weeks are the toughest in professional football, because these guys have left it all out on the field, and all of a sudden you have to look that player in the eye and say, you know what, it's not going to work here, but maybe it works somewhere else. Now, I will give our personnel staff, they've done a really good job of kind of preparing us to get ready for this in terms of studying all the other 31 teams out there during this preseason game.
So Tuesday cut down to 75 and then down to 53, and get ready for those regular season games beginning with week 1 against the Chargers. Foles on third down. That is caught by Parker near the 5, just short of the first down.
Well, John, you talked about the fact that your personnel department's looking at the other 31 teams. That was such a big part of what you guys did in year 1 and year 2, building the depth of this roster, building competition throughout the entire roster. So knowing that that is the case, as you're starting to dwindle down now, you're starting to make those selections on who you think are going to be the best 53. How much do you involve Coach Reed and the coaching staff when it gets to that point in time, or is the personnel strictly up to you guys? And then from a coaching standpoint, he says, "Hey, you know what? You give me the 53."
We're collectively in this together from a football operations standpoint. That's with the coaching staff and the personnel staff. Now, what we're doing right now is we're doing our entire research on positions and needs that we may think that will help us. But once we have made suggestions on this player or this player, of course we're going to run them by the coaches to make sure that they're comfortable with this process as well.
Right.
Reeves is a guy who's made a statement in the preseason. He picks up the first down on the 4th down conversion, so it'll be 1st and goal for the Chiefs here.
We're going to get a measurement here.
I really admire that little guy. I mean, he runs as hard as, he runs so hard, and at the end of the game, his tanks always run out. I mean, he really is a good football player.
Talked to Coach Reed yesterday. He just said, that guy, tough. And that's a pretty good compliment.
Coach Reed probably said he was dirty tough.
I know it's also a big compliment when you talk about building the depth of the organization, when you realize, hey, a lot of these players where it's coming down to very close to making a final roster, they're going to have a chance to be on a roster somewhere else. And I know that's a compliment to the organization when you have a big enough depth of NFL caliber players that you have guys who are going to be NFL players who aren't making your 53.
Well, you try to acquire as much depth as you can at the 90 position. Last year we projected 2 or 3 guys may get claimed off the waiver wires. This year, we're looking between 5 and 6 players that may get claimed off the waiver wires. So, that's a testament to the personnel staff and the coaching for coaching them up.
Reeves officially able to pick up that first down, so 1st and goal. This is the first drive for Nick Foles in at quarterback in relief of Alex Smith. Reeves takes it to the goal line. Touchdown, Chiefs. As Darren Reeves pushes it across to complete another touchdown drive. This one from the second team offense.
And just as you were talking about him being dirty tough, here he's getting the tough yardage. You see, first contact is made at the 3-yard line. He's able to stretch the ball out and break the plane before his knees hit the ground.
He is not a he's not a small man. He is a shorter guy who happens to be very thick, but as you well know, with his leverage point in the leg drive after contact, there's a certain determination that he has and certain strength levels that he has that is on display on that run there.
John, I think you're 2 for 2 visiting us and Chiefs touchdown drives in this preseason game.
I was getting worried there for a while.
And sure enough, going to take a longer look at that to make sure it's a touchdown. Again, all scoring plays reviewed. But if you look at the 2 touchdowns and Ware shoving his way in tight yardage, and now Reeves with a very similar tough run near the goal line to get it across for the touchdown.
Well, you know, to me, it goes back to what you were talking about, Trent, with Andy Heck, and the job that he's done with the offensive line. I thought the offensive line has played very well today, both first and second team, as on display on that drive right there.
Well, and you've been up here the whole time the offense has been on the field, but the defense, what an incredible first half by the defense, and we'll get back to that, I think, right here after the commercial.
John, thanks for visiting with us. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
19-0 Chiefs. BAT coming.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So put it on the board. Yes. Touchdown for the Chiefs. Reeves punches it in. BAT coming from Santos after that review of the 1-yard touchdown run for Reeves to cap off an 8-play, 62-yard drive. So Santos puts it through to make it 20-0 Chiefs on the Bears. Nick Foles leads the touchdown drive. Darren Reeves finishes it off. Dirty tough into the end zone. All the watch parties throughout Chiefs Kingdom today. Here's a few that stand out. Cheerleaders, ambassadors, red coaters at McConnell Air Force Base in Wichita and Offutt Air Force Base in Omaha, along with members of the U.S. Air Force to watch today's game. We thank them for their courage and service. Air Force watch parties. Our statistician, being an Air Force veteran, David Wave Robinson, appreciative of the support from the Air Force throughout Chiefs Kingdom.
Well, the watch parties are all fired up today. Chiefs are playing well, up 3 touchdowns. Offense has played well, both the ones and the twos, and defense as well.
Kadeem Carey bobbles in the end zone, forced to take a knee, bring it out to the 25. And we will see a new quarterback for the Chicago Bears as Brian Hoyer makes his way out there. Alex Smith's day is done. Jay Cutler's day is done. No question who won that starting quarterback matchup.
That was a struggle of a day, to say the least, for Jay Cutler, and an outstanding job by the Chiefs defensively.
And the last time Brian Hoyer took a look at the Chiefs defense, it was in that Texans-Chiefs playoff game. The Chiefs defense dominated against Hoyer and the Texans, and sure enough, handoff to Carey.
Chris Jones once again, how about it?
Blowing it up. So you go back to on the road, and it began with Niall Davis with a 106-yard return for a touchdown, and then the day just continued to unravel for the Texans. Marga with the INT in the end zone, and a dominant performance by the Chiefs against Hoyer and the then Texans. Now he finds himself in a backup role for now with the Bears. As that pass completed development.
I like how you say "for now." You weren't real impressed with Cutler's performance today, so I like how you throw that "for now" out there.
I don't want to go too harsh, but I don't think many people were impressed.
No, that was an ugly offensive performance, not only by Jay, but the entire offense. So, yeah, Bears fans are hoping that Hoyer can get in here and do something. But the Chiefs defensively have been stout all day.
Pressure up the middle on Hoyer. Hit as he throws, incomplete. Good pressure up the middle coming from Daddy Nicholas.
Well, more of the same by the Chiefs defensively. Just you're going to see the amount of pressure they're bringing up here. Jones ends up being free coming up the middle. We're bringing a couple of secondary defenders. Rushing 6. Nothing real complex for third preseason game. It's just bringing 6 bodies. It wasn't a lot of confusion. Just got in the face of Hoyer, had to throw it away.
Chiefs D gets another stop. DeAnthony Thomas back to receive the kick as Nicholas nearly got a hand on that punt. DeAnthony Thomas down the sideline, walking the tightrope across the 50 as the former Oregon Duck explodes across midfield. A 32-yard return. Dave Tobe, yeah, he's seen this a few times around Soldier Field. Thomas rolling as the Chiefs 20-0. Enter promo code Chiefs16 on Garmin.com and you can get the Chiefs branded Vivo Fit for just $49. Visit Garmin.com/Chiefs to buy now. Get your steps in around Chicago. And we were kind of raining earlier in the day, but turning into a nicer day around Chicago as Aaron Murray takes over. So touchdown drive led by Nick Foles. Now it's Aaron Murray as the third quarterback out for the Chiefs. Good field position set up by the return by DeAnthony Thomas. Murray is going to drop and take a sack near the 49 in his first snap.
Well, not the start to a drive you want. First play, snap slow, you don't handle it, you got to drop your head so you're not able to keep your eyes up and check out the defense. You try and make the recovery, but just not enough time in the pocket to get rid of the ball.
Now let's check in with B.J. Kissel on the Chiefs sideline.
All right, thanks, Carter. Down here with one of the stars of today and Chiefs linebacker Derek Johnson. Derek, I know that all week you were asked about the defense's performance the first couple of preseason games. Just how would you rate your guys' performance today?
Well, I think we came out really well with a lot of energy. Start fast. That's our whole motive was today to start fast. So we haven't been starting the last two games. And my hats off to the defensive line. And it's a team effort when everybody does good on defense side of the ball.
What does a performance today do for you guys looking forward heading to that regular season game September 11th against the Chargers?
Well, I told the guys this right before the game. This is dress rehearsal right before our first game because next week we won't really play. So this is dress rehearsal, and we want to make it look good. Today we made it look good.
All right, and I want to ask about the guys playing next to you because there's been some different guys throughout the time as the veteran Josh Mauga has been out with the injury. Just what have you seen from Ramik? What have you seen from Justin March, who's started the last couple weeks?
Well, the best thing about a team, we got a lot of depth. And at the Mike position, you got Justin March and you got Ramik Wilson battling it out for the Mike position due to Maga's injury. But they're working with Maga to actually, this is a team atmosphere, so everybody's trying to help these young guys play better. And Justin March did a great job today, actually.
And last question, multiple Pro Bowls. You're the franchise's all-time leading tackler. What is left for your legacy here in Kansas City?
Super Bowl. Trying to win it all. That's the only reason I play this game. And until that happens, I won't be satisfied.
Thanks, DJ. Appreciate the time.
There was no doubt about what the answer was to that question for DJ and why he is so enthused at age 33 to be a part of this Chiefs team in 2016.
Encroachment. Defense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Derek Johnson, another productive day for the Chiefs defensively. Sees the guard pulling, reads it. Is able to knock the stiff arm away and make the tackle for loss. This time on the twist, coming around to the outside, getting free for the sack. Defensively from front to back, you mentioned the defensive line, how good of a job they did creating lanes for him to get in the backfield and make those plays. Can't say enough good things about the defense today.
Murray's pass complete. O'Shaughnessy inside the 20. Getting back to DJ in the conversation we had with him earlier this preseason when he said there's so many veteran guys around the league. You've been with a franchise for a while, and yet the franchise is at a point where they're rebuilding. You got to go elsewhere. How optimistic he is and excited he is about where the Chiefs are now at this point in his career.
That must be some family members there, all decked out in the 80 jerseys.
Shaughnessy from Naperville, Illinois, played at Illinois State. So that was in fact one of the things that Andy Reid told us, that number 80 would get a pretty good run in the second half in front of the home folks here.
Well, just to wrap up on DJ, you're right in terms of, he signed in the offseason. He came back, and one of the reasons he did sign back is, number one, he wants to spend his whole career in Kansas City. He wants to be a lifetime Chief. But the fact he said they weren't in a rebuild mode. He goes, we're in position to win and win now, and that was excited him as much as wanting to maintain a Chief, is the fact that he thinks this is a really good team and can do some good things this year. You have to stay healthy, but he was really excited about the team this year.
Murray's pass off the hands and intercepted. Off the hands of DeMarcus Robinson and picked off by the Bears.
Well, and it's unfortunate for Aaron Murray. That ball was a little bit high and did go off the receiver's hands, but I know we were talking about DJ there, but he came up with an incredible throw on 3rd and 16. I don't want to overlook that throw on 3rd and 16 that he made. That's a tough throw for anybody in the National Football League to make, and then he followed it up with another big throw over the middle. So he's put together some nice throws here. Just got caught up in all the DJ talk and unfortunately gets the interception here.
What's turning into a sunny day in Chicago. Already pretty sunny for Alex Smith and the Chiefs, a 20-0 lead. Derek Johnson. Day appears to be done as the first team offense and defense both turned in solid days against the Bears here in Chicago. Brian Hoyer now quarterbacking the Bears in relief of Jay Cutler. Against the Chiefs D, yet to give up any points. Nice slant for the completion to the 36-yard line. That's Cameron Meredith who makes the grab for the Bears.
We've had our fun at Hoyer's expense with some of the throws he's made in the last couple meetings against the Chiefs, but that time finding the window on the slant route.
Gain of 15 coming off the interception thrown by Murray. So swing it to the outside for Bellamy for the Bears. Eric Murray there on the stop, along with DJ White, two of the guys who've been impressive in the secondary. Andy Reid, every time we talk to him, points out Steve Nelson, Eric Murray, and DJ White making excellent progress in the secondary.
Well, and that's why it's going to be such a difficult task for John Dorsey and Andy Reid to come up with their final roster. I know this week they have to get down to 75 by Tuesday, but when you ultimately have to get from 75 down to 53, that's going to be some of the toughest decisions you have to make is the secondary.
Malumba makes the tackle there. So you have DJ White, who got us started corner. You have Eric Murray, who's gotten a lot of run in the secondary at safety. Jones is going to be a factor all year long on the defensive line. And Justin March, a guy who hasn't played in the regular season. He was on IR all of 2015, but the maturity both on and off the field for Justin March, the second-year pro out of Akron, has really stood out to everyone around the Chiefs.
Well, that's everybody you talk to, whether it's Andy Reid or Derek Johnson or any of the veteran guys, is just the presence that Justin March, the work that he's put in, the strength that he's gained. He's increased his size from last year to this year, and you can just tell he feels better out on the field the way he's moving around and making plays.
Patty Nicholas makes that stop to bring the third quarter to an end. 20-0 KC on Chicago. Will return after these messages. You're watching Chiefs preseason football. Check all the boxes for the Chiefs on this Saturday afternoon in Chicago here at Soldier Field. A dominant performance so far, 20-0 as we get set for the fourth quarter. So a touchdown drive for Alex Smith in the first offense, a touchdown drive for Nick Foles. And the second offense, so our What to Watch, brought to you by the University of Kansas Hospital, the official healthcare provider of the Chiefs. And how do you evaluate those goals, Trent?
They've done well through three quarters, stopping the run. You can see only 45 yards for the Bears. Offensive line improvement, especially from the inside part of the offensive line. They gave Alex Smith protection all day, and Nick Foles protection for that matter as well. And then the fourth quarter, this is going to be roster battles. We had John Dorsey in here in the third quarter. We just touched on the fact we've had a lot of young players, especially in the secondary with Eric Murray and DJ White, and Justin March only being in his second year, so a lot of these young guys fighting for
prior to the snap of the previous play,
spots.
we had defense, 12 men. Remember, the defense did not get off the field prior to the snap. Chicago's accepted that penalty. It will now be 1st and 5, Chicago.
So that was the discussion at the end of the third quarter. And now we start the fourth for the 1st and 5.
So the penalty brings the ball in Chiefs territory.
That's correct.
They've only been in Chiefs territory a couple of plays.
That's exactly right.
Second play?
Yep, this is the second time that the Bears have crossed the 50. Yeah, a lot of sorting out. We won't get into the details of how that was all sorted out, but bottom line, it's 1st and 5 for the Bears against the Chiefs defense. It's been so solid today. Hoyer under center. Pressured from behind, flings it to the outside. White looked like he was tracking that one, trying to pick it off and maybe take it back the other way, but Howard makes the grab.
Yeah, it looked like the angle he had, that was it was either going to be a blow-up at the point of catch, and just got outflanked a little bit and was fortunate to make that tackle. Bears going to a little up-tempo here.
Hoyer out of the shotgun, handoff, met in the hole. Daddy Nicholas again correction. That's Terrence Smith. That's 62 Terrence Smith that we haven't seen a lot of in this preseason, rather than 52 Daddy Nicholas. So Terrence Smith, the rookie out of Florida State, makes a stop. Rookie out of Florida State. Solid stop. Bears hurry up again. This time it's David King on the stop.
So penalty makes it 1st and 5. They pick up 4 yards. 2nd and 3rd down, they lose yards. So you can understand why the Bears fans aren't real happy. And if you're a Chiefs fan with the way this defense is playing right now, Bears going for it on 4th down.
Out of the I backfield with Hoyer under center on 4th and 1. Play action, quick hitter, incomplete. Well, in preseason game number 1, the Bears were outscored by Denver 22-0 here. So they have not scored in front of the home fans. And they haven't done it today against the Chiefs D, 20-0. Let's take a look around the AFC West, presented by Volvo of Overland Park.
Well, the Raiders have done a lot with their defensive side of the ball. They had a lot of cap money to spend, and so they addressed that side through free agency. And then on the offensive side with the youth of Derek Carr and Amari Cooper, it's a team that a lot of people are kind of a dark horse that they think can sneak into the playoff race. You see the players that they've lost with Justin Tuck and Charles Woodson, and they'll be a team that's definitely part of the mix there in the AFC West.
Aaron Murray, after the interception on the last drive, that's complete to Hammond on the outside. Think about the AFC West. All 4 of those franchises not only go back to the original AFL. So you talk about the vision of Lamar Hunt, Chiefs founder, and to say extending into 2016 that those original members of the AFL West would still be together in the NFL in the AFC West. And all 4 of the teams in the AFC West, all-time winning records over the franchise history.
Yeah, there's some great tradition in the division, and you look at some of the rivalries that go on between these teams. It's I know as a former player with the Chiefs, it's something that you took very seriously just because of that long-standing tradition.
Niall Davis, the ball carrier. Flag comes in. So you take note of that even as a player to know that this is part of a longer history and legacy of the rivalries in this division?
You know, I always did. I always felt that was an important part of it. You and I had the discussion before the game about some of the different fields and stadiums that I enjoyed playing at over my career. I was a fan of football long before I was a player and long before I was an announcer. So the fact that you get an opportunity to play in some of these stadiums, some of these fields, but then also understanding the history of the game. So when I got to Kansas City, I wanted to know, the rivalries, and I was drafted by the San Diego Chargers, so I knew about it a little bit. I was only there a year, so I didn't really get ingrained in it, and my time in Kansas City really taught me a lot about not only the AFL years, but then how that carried over, as you said, into the AFC West,
including the heated one against the Raiders, right?
That's right. That is a very heated one.
Murray completes. That's Shaughnessy again, the Illinois native making the grab. Broncos have won the AFC West the last 5 years, Super Bowl champs, but big question for the Broncos in 2016 as well.
See Aaron Murray on the bootleg taking a shot to the midsection there. He's put together some sharp throws. I know that he had the interception on the high throw to Robinson, but he's looked really sharp. He's throwing the ball very consistent. You can see some of O'Shaughnessy's family there wearing the 80 jersey.
Look at Hypermo, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. O'Shaughnessy's may be familiar. Reeves brought down behind the line of scrimmage. It's John Timu who makes the stop. Reeves bounces back up, tries to keep rolling, but he is ruled down for the loss.
We'll get a chance to check out the replay here to see if he actually hits the ground. Stays up. Oh, forearms down. Elbow and forearm are down, so. Good try, though.
Yep. Doesn't have to be the knee.
Yeah, so keep going.
Knee doesn't hit. Might as well see if he can get away with it. Good effort. savvy from Reeves, the third-year pro out of UAB. So Murray hit as he throws on third down, completes it. Hammond hauls it in for a first down as Murray takes a big blow. It's a gain of 20.
So he's had a long completion on 3rd and 16 where he stepped in and fired it on a dig route. This time on 3rd and 18 with the double move to the outside. As he's getting hit, Aaron Murray lays it to the sideline. Watch the shot he takes. Great throw, great presence to stand in the pocket. Is it a perfect throw? No, but when you're throwing it early like that because you know you're about to get hit, laying it out to a spot where the receiver can go get it, that's an important aspect of playing the position.
CK delivers that big blow. Back on the ground, Niall Davis trying to stretch it to the outside with Brian Parker in there at fullback. So Parker, who's a tight end, but gets a look at fullback in that package, blocking for Niall Davis.
When you talked about Reeves earlier and just the competition that's at this running back position, you know, from top to bottom with Jamal Charles, Tarkandrick West, neither one of those played tonight, or today. You got Spencer Ware and Darren Reeves had a heck of a job when he's in it. Now Davis, we just showed his 106-yard return that he had against the Texans in the playoff game, and so it's tons of great competition and depth at the running back position.
Aaron Murray from inside the 30 gives the Niall Davis again straight ahead. Good push up front. Second offensive line unit creating the hole for Niall Davis. Chicago, mentioned went to the White Sox game last night. It dawned on me as I was looking around thinking about the ownership of the White Sox and the Bulls. You know who was a longtime part owner of the Chicago Bulls was Lamar Hunt.
Yes, he was.
So those championship runs with Michael Jordan and the Bulls, the Chiefs founder Lamar Hunt was a piece of that, in addition to the interest with the Chiefs in football and
soccer.
Yeah,
lots of
tennis.
Soccer involvement, tennis, yes.
Play action from Murray. He's going to toss to the end zone, incomplete. Intended for O'Shaughnessy.
Had a lot of positives to say about Aaron Murray, but that time there he could have set his feet. He was just drifting back. I think he has a chance to be a little bit more accurate if he's able to settle his feet down instead of bouncing back. But I think he's had quite a few outstanding throws today.
That's a discussion with Matt Nagy coming back. So Santos on for a 41-yard field goal, both with the holder. James Winchester will snap it. Santos boots it through to make it 23-0 Chiefs. A dominant day in Chicago thus far. 9:04 to go at Soldier Field. Holy cow, the regular season is just 2 weeks away. Phillip Rivers and the Chargers coming to town September 11 for the Week 1 divisional matchup. Make sure to don't miss the Arrowhead home opener. Get your tickets at Chiefs.com or by calling 888-99-CHIEFS, and it begins with AFC West matchup against the Chargers.
Then you travel to Houston, got the Jets at home, got a bye week in there between the Jets and, or actually between Pittsburgh and Oakland is when the bye week comes in. So you can see some good home games there. Come out to Arrowhead and get after it a little bit.
All right, pluses and minuses of starting with a divisional opponent in Week 1.
I love it when you're starting at home against a division opponent. I don't want to start against a division opponent on the road, so I think that works in Kansas City's favor.
Daniels from the goal line. He's going to be tracked down by Ramik Wilson and ridden out of bounds on the far sideline. Let's check in again with B.J. Kissel.
All right, thanks, Carter. Down here with Chiefs offensive lineman Zach Fulton. Now, Zach, when exactly was it that you found out that you were going to be starting in this game today?
I think it was about right after the coin toss and the anthem, so it was basically right before we went on the field.
All right, well, we know Mitch Morris left ill. Hopefully he's doing better. But I'm curious for you because I know that at the University of Tennessee, you didn't play center. You only did it a couple times at practice. You showed your versatility last year playing all 3 interior spots. How important was it for you to show that versatility last year, and how does that help you going into this year?
That was very important. I was trying to show that I can play wherever I'm needed and that I'm a useful part of this team. And it was great for me putting all that on film.
How would you grade your performance today?
I think I did all right. There's always things I could do better. You know?
All right, I know this game particularly has got to be special for you. Grew up 30 minutes south of here, went to Homewood Flossmoor High School. Just what did it mean to you to return so close to home and get a surprise start right before kickoff?
Yeah, it means a lot. It's kind of ironic that all this happened, you know. But it's great being back at home. I got to see my family yesterday for about an hour, but it's great seeing them, and it's great being here.
All right, thanks, Zach. We appreciate the time.
Zach Fulton, third-year pro, third year as a Chief, and yeah, that's you know, Zach understands how important it is to show the versatility as well with what's ahead in the next couple of weeks.
Well, and the fact that John Dorsey was just standing in the booth with us in the third quarter, and he talked about the importance of the offensive line, especially when you're talking about those other guys. You usually dress 7 offensive linemen. You have to have a tackle that can go both sides, and you have to have an interior lineman that can play all 3 positions. And Zach certainly feels it. And the fact that he found out right in the coin toss, that's short of notice, and he was able to go in and play as well as he did.
DJ White with solid coverage there. It almost becomes a cliche about football in the NFL about, hey, you never know when next snap, next man up and all that, but there's your perfect example. Coin toss. All right, not only you're starting, but you're starting at center, the position that you're probably least familiar with.
Yeah, you can't say enough about obviously his preparation going into it, that he was ready to go.
Hoyer flings it to the outside. That's Bellamy. Knocked out of bounds by Brock Vereen, most recent Chiefs signing. The New England Patriot, they put him on the reserve retired list. It was last Monday and then released Tuesday. Then Casey claimed him on Wednesday, and Brock said this week, yeah, it was unconventional how it ended in New England and came to Kansas City, but happy to have the chance here. Pressure up the middle on Hoyer, flinging to the outside. White makes the tackle. After the grab by Braverman.
And there's so much competition. You talk about Vereen coming in, and this is a guy that has starting experience. He has playing experience. He's still a young guy at only 24 years old. But the fact there are so many tough decisions to make in that defensive backfield, as Hoyer's nailed as he throws the ball.
Daddy Nicholas, the rookie out of Virginia Tech, lays the lick on Hoyer.
Hoyer having flashbacks to playing the Chiefs when he was with the Texans last year. Ended up on his backside. Nicholas has been impressive here. He's done that the entire preseason, though. When he gets opportunities to play, we've talked about him time and time again. When he gets on the field, he's making plays sideline to sideline. He's able to get after the quarterback and cause pressure as Hoyer's leaving the field there.
So we will see the third-string quarterback for the Bears. That's Connor Shaw who's going to jog out. So Connor Shaw, the former South Carolina Gamecock, takes over after Hoyer is drilled by Daddy Nicholas. But to your point, Daddy Nicholas, both special teams and defense, has made his presence known. 6th-round pick out of Virginia Tech. Wrapped up his Hokie career with a bowl win, sending Frank Beamer out at the end of his run as head coach at Virginia Tech with a victory.
Well, we talked about the competition in this secondary for roster spots, but Daddy Nicholas is another guy. You know, we talked about Ramik Wilson and Justin March and DJ Alexander. Terrence Smith has had some plays here in this game. It's going to be a tough roster spot as well.
Shaw takes off, dives to the 40 for a first down. And the Bears fans who have yet to see their team score at home in the preseason, the Bears have now been outscored 45-0 in their 2 preseason home games. So third-string quarterback scrambling for a first down brings
exactly. They got some cheers, people screaming first down. It's like they got the ball across midfield and they got a first down. It was like, okay, now they're happy.
Shaw checked down. That's complete to the 35, slipping away. Meredith goes rolling inside the 30.
Well, and he dropped the ball for a little bit too there. As he's going down, he's bobbling it. And when Fleming comes up and makes that hit, I thought he watches the ball starts bouncing around here and almost knocking it loose.
And Johnson finally makes the stop. First time that the Bears have been inside the Chiefs' 30. Shaw gonna take a shot. Nice grab inside the 10. Meredith hauls it in. With Fleming there in coverage.
Just an isolation. One-on-one to the outside, and Shaw recognizing that and put it in away from Fleming and giving his guy a chance.
Connor Shaw making the most of his time with the Bears offense after Hoyer leaves with the injury. Cutler ineffective. Cutler was 6 for 15.
And Andy Reid throwing the challenge flag, but based on the replay we saw, it looks like he had both feet down. But he can't take those on the plane, can't take them home with him, so
No.
might as well check it out.
Kansas City is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed catch. Timeout.
So we'll take another look with the Chiefs rolling 23-0 on the Bears. We'll see. Today's game is brought to you by DraftKings.com, the daily fantasy sports destination. Michelob Ultra, the superior light beer. The Kansas City Steak Company, taste, it matters. And by Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle. Well, we began the day with fog and clouds, and now it's sky blue sky here in Chicago at Soldier Field. Let's hear the result of the challenge by the Chiefs on the catch. By Cameron Meredith.
After review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. A completed catch. First and 10 Chicago. Kansas City will be charged with their second time out of the half. Kansas City has one challenge remaining in the game.
And it was confirmed. He didn't say it stated, he said it was confirmed. So you could see, you and I both thought that he had 3. Thought he went left, or right, left, and then that right tapped again before he went out of bounds.
That's more than enough.
That's more than enough, yes.
So first and goal, Connor Shaw quarterbacking the Bears. Shaw to the back of the end zone, caught for a touchdown. There is a flag down, however.
Offensive pass interference for a pick. They didn't do the rub well enough, so it was classified a pick. And that'll be moving back.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 83. 10-yard penalty replay. First down.
That is actually the way you're supposed to do the pick. You run and get in the way, and you turn your shoulders back to the quarterback. So I don't know how that's called, because that's how they tell him to run it. Now, if you stay squared up to the guy, then that's everybody knows that's what the intention is. It's supposed to be a block. But when you turn and you look back to the quarterback, you're making a look back to the quarterback. You're not blocking him. So.
But the flag gets thrown, wipe out the touchdown. So Shaw's first and goal again. It's complete again, and it is a Bears touchdown. Meredith hauls it in for the first points of the day and the first points at Soldier Field of the preseason for the Chicago Bears.
Shaw coming in after Hoyer leaves with an injury. Put together some impressive throws, this time getting flushed to the right. Keeping his eyes upfield, and Bears able to get it into the end zone.
So again, not only the first points that the Bears have scored today, but they were shut out by Denver 22-0 in their preseason home opener. So a touchdown given up by the Chiefs D, but it only makes it 23-7 now with a PAT good. Looks like we'll have a look at the rookie from Stanford, Kevin Hogan, coming on to quarterback the Chiefs. Down the street from Ray's Music Exchange here in Chicago. We're at Soldier Field with the Chiefs on top of the Bears, 23-7. So here are the 3 quarterbacks we've seen for the Chiefs so far today.
Yeah, and you can see all 3 were productive, moving the football and getting some scoring drives going. So Outstanding day by Alex Smith, but now we're going to get a chance to take a look at the rookie Kevin Hogan.
We saw Tyler Bray warm up before the game, but he apparently is not available for the Chiefs despite warming up, coming back from the chip fracture cervical spine in preseason game 1. So looks like Kevin Hogan will be next up for the Chiefs. Touchback, they'll have it at the 25. Check in with BJ.
All right, thanks, Carter. Down here with Chiefs defensive lineman Dontari Poe. Dontari, just thoughts on the defense's performance today?
I think we came out and did what we wanted to do. We had a couple things to tighten up from the last couple weeks, and we just wanted to come out and play solid defense, team defense, be gap sound, and just handle business. I think we did it.
Did you feel like you were trying to prove a point coming out here today? Gave up just 20 yards of total offense that the Bears had in the first half. Was that something that you just trying to come out here and dominate?
Yeah, I feel like I said, we had a couple miscues. It was nothing big the last couple weeks, but the smallest thing made the biggest difference. So we just had to tighten everything down and just make sure we was ready to go in a couple weeks.
You look at the defensive line group as a whole, yourself, Jay, and Allen. Just how special can that starting group be?
Real special. We came out and worked every day. Some days, one guy slagging behind, we pick them up. I mean, we come out and we're just doing a lot of good stuff. I feel like we can be the best we've been, definitely since I've been here, probably in the NFL. And I just feel like we keep going, we keep pushing, we'll be where we want to be.
We got all that kind of talent, and then the new guy that you added to the mix has been making some plays throughout the preseason. And Chris Jones, what have you seen from his development?
I like him. Young dude, but he's coming along just fine. He's playing real good. He's not lazy. He's working hard. He come out and just follow our lead, man. And I feel like he's going to be a big addition for us.
All right, Dontari, appreciate the time.
Appreciate it.
Solid effort by Dontari and the Chiefs defense. Well into the fourth quarter. Before the touchdown given up against the Bears, Deron Brown makes that grab. Bump pass from Kevin Hogan.
Well, that's a good first throw. Let him coming off the bench after 3.5 quarters, and make it a quick throw. But not as productive as what they would like. Obviously, looking for a bigger block from Robinson, but a good defensive play by the Bears.
Went 3-0 versus Cal during his time at Stanford, so that would be 3-0 against Jared Goff, the first pick in the draft, and yet Kevin Hogan and his Stanford teammates, and that the big game, as they call it, between Cal and Stanford, and it is a very big game. So 3-0 against Cal, part of the decoration from Kevin Hogan during his Stanford career.
Yeah, put together some impressive numbers over his time at Stanford. You talk about the offense he ran out there was a pro-style offense, and that's why the transition that they thought he would be able to make wouldn't be as difficult as maybe some of the other guys that were running the spread type of offense.
Third and long, Hogan, long drop, steps up in the pocket, delivers high. The pass is complete to Deron Brown, but well short of the first down. I think back to Kevin Hogan, the beginning of his senior year was that loss at Northwestern by Stanford.
And I didn't prompt you to bring that up.
No.
I did not.
No, but you have become
and
a huge...
For people that don't know, I have a son that plays football at Northwestern, and he was a red shirt last year, so I did not prompt that.
You've become a big Northwestern fan, right?
I have. I went to Indiana, but my son's at Northwestern, so yeah, I follow Northwestern quite a bit. He's actually here today with some of his teammates. I got a day off today, so it's going to be good to see him after the game.
Jay Daniels backing up. There is a flag down. He bobbles it, gets back on top near the 24. And we check the flag. So TJ's in the house.
He is. He's in the house. They made their way down. Around Chicago, you take the train everywhere, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So he and his teammates, handful of them jumped on the train and headed down. So
they had to have an early start to get down the Soldier Field.
Yes, that's right. There's quite a few stops that train makes on the way downtown. So, but the Bears used up one of their timeouts at during the Chiefs' last drive to try and save as much time as possible. I would guess with the performance that Shaw put when he went in there for an injured Hoyer that they would stick with Shaw.
Went out of bounds on his own and remained there. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run of the kick. 1st and 10 Chicago.
So you have to make every attempt to get it back out on the field as quickly as possible. You can't run out of bounds, and that's exactly what DJ White did. Is he ran too long out of bounds. You can get pushed out of bounds, but you have to make every effort to get back on the field. And as you can see, he spent about a good 15 yards or so running down the out of bounds side.
To the outside. Brock Vereen in there on the stop, along with Tyrell Adams, second-year pro out of West Georgia. So Vereen trying to make his presence felt with the Chiefs. Brother Shane running back for the Pats, now with the New York Giants. Brock played college ball at Minnesota and going to get a timeout here. Johnson calls the timeout. So the Chiefs used their last timeout to get the defense set with 3:27 to go and a 23-7 lead. So as you get down towards the end of the roster,
some confusion about personnel groups and changes and on and off the field. And as I mentioned earlier in the game, Bob Sutton and this defense, they'll switch bodies around. They had 3 safeties in the game with 4 corners and 2 linebackers, 2 defensive linemen, so they can come with any number. So now you get towards the back end of the roster and trying to count bodies out there. Let's see, they have, what do they have? They have 3 corners, 3 safeties, a couple of linebackers, so still continuing changing up personnel groups.
Green, the 1 deep safety. Connor Shaw, quarterback for the Bears. Shaw takes a deep shot. It's incomplete. So we talked about the 1 deep safety, and it nearly came into play as Bellamy stretched it out to make the grab.
This little slant and go on the outside. Nearly connected on it.
Deveron Carr there in coverage. Stepping up, Shaw. Short gain on 3rd down and long, and it's Johnson who makes the stop.
Well, they have no choice but to go for it on 4th down. You can see John Fox not sending out the punting unit.
Both these teams came in 0-2 in the preseason. So Derek Johnson and the Chiefs, I mean, even though it is the preseason and final score is the most important thing, it's good to get a win. 3rd and long, that completion again goes to Bellamy. Correction, 4th and long, and Bellamy makes the grab. And now Connor Shaw is slow getting up for the Bears.
He's holding that lower left leg. I don't want to speculate, but that doesn't look really good. So he grabbed onto it. You can see the Bears player is going to the ground immediately after they showed the replay in the stadium as well, and you can hear a loud gasp from the crowd after seeing that tackle. So Connor Shaw coming in and putting together a couple of impressive drives and making some impressive throws, but that may be the end of his season right there.
Worst case scenario in a preseason game, especially after Connor Shaw came in and looked really good. After Hoyer took the big shot, Shaw was able to come in and lead the touchdown drive and looked very solid. And now you don't want to see it in a preseason game. I mean, 2.5 minutes to go in a preseason game and the score determined, and Shaw takes an ugly shot, ugly blow. I say ugly shot, I mean bad.
Yeah, I mean it was a
shot. Exactly.
Right. It was. I mean it was a clean hit. It was
absolutely.
There was nothing dirty about it. It's just the the weight of the body going into the lower leg, and it's just yeah, it's unfortunate. As you said, he came in and looked sharp. So, and if you guys at home are wondering why we're not showing it again, there's a reason why we're not showing it again. It's pretty self-explanatory. It was an ugly lower left leg injury. So we'll just leave it at that, and just hope for the best for him.
Not only the Bears players taking a knee for Connor Shaw, you see on the Chiefs sideline as well, because everyone on both sidelines knows exactly what this moment's like for Connor Shaw. And you're in a preseason game, and again, after Boyer takes the shot and comes out, Connor Shaw comes in and looks very good, leading a touchdown drive, and now he's on his back.
Well, and you're talking to a guy that lost the season in a third preseason game as well. Had someone dive into my knee and cost me an entire season in a third preseason game. So I know the emotional stuff and what he's going through right now. So it is a difficult time. You can see the response of the teams and the fans as he's being lifted into the cart there, but.
Is this tough for you to watch? I mean,
well, it is, just because it hits close to home in a bunch of different ways. It is a fraternity. You don't want to see guys get hurt on either side of the field. You're all trying to play and make a living playing this game. It's part of the game as a player. When you sign up to play, that's part of it. There's going to be injuries that happen, and some of them, that happen like this, where it's just a part of the game. So. But it is difficult. You can understand what he's going through and what his family members are going through having to watch it. But it doesn't, it doesn't diminish the type of day that the Chiefs have played here today. I think when you start looking at both sides of the ball, how well the Chiefs have played. There is still 2.5 minutes to go, and I know Connor Shaw is working his way off the field, but. It's important for the defense of the Chiefs to maintain their focus here in the final 2.5 minutes and try and finish this game strong the way they started the first 3.5 quarters.
sad moment for Connor Shaw. Carted off the field. 2.5 minutes to go in the preseason game number 3 with a big air cast. After that tough moment, Connor Shaw headed back into the locker room. Now, somehow back in football. Moyer back in at quarterback for the Bears. Takes a deep shot, and Deveron Carr knocks it away. Nice play by Deveron Carr. So Moyer comes back in at QB for the Bears after he took the tough shot and had to go to the bench, and Shaw replaced him.
Well, as I mentioned, this is part of the game. Injuries are part of the game, but it's a matter of getting refocused as a group for this defensive unit to come in and realize they need to finish this game up strong and continue to execute the game plan.
Moyer down the field, complete to the 30, near a first down. Amari Russell there on the stop for the Chiefs after Bellamy makes the grab.
Bears are going to hit the 2-minute warning here, and they still have 2 timeouts left. But
that is the 2-minute warning. Chiefs in control in Chicago, 23-7 Soldier Field. The season is right around the corner. To claim your spot at Arrowhead, get your Chiefs season tickets now at Chiefs.com or by calling 888-99-CHIEFS. Chiefs Kingdom showing up all the way to the end in Chicago. I mean, this is a 23-7 game. You're the 2-minute warning and the 4th quarter, but Chiefs Kingdom, the prayers have been answered today with Solid performance.
Yes. They didn't need sunscreen
either. You were really prepared if you brought out the sunscreen today,
yes,
because it was a rainy, cloudy, foggy start to the day here in Chicago, but turned into sunny skies, and a good effort by the Chiefs. Now inside of the 2-minute warning to try to close it out strong. Brian Hoyer quarterbacking the Bears, rolling away from the Chiefs D again, just throws it out of bounds on first down. Andy Malumba bringing the pressure.
And Hoyer's like, what in the world is it with this defense and putting pressure on me? So he wanted no part of that. He's like, how far do I have to go to get outside the pocket so I can flip this thing away?
I mean, we've kind of joked about it, but I mean, when you have that kind of performance or lack thereof in the playoffs against the Chiefs, I mean, it has to be in the back of your mind a little bit, right?
Oh, it definitely would be. Yeah.
So Hoyer, incomplete. Well thrown ball, but Meredith couldn't come up and grab it with Carr in coverage, along with Shaquille Randolph.
Third or fourth time working down the sideline here against Carr, trying to get one-on-one matchups. He's in position. High and outside, you can see he likes that result.
Devon Carr's made a couple nice plays late in this one.
She's showing 6 guys at the line of scrimmage.
Hoyer pressured. He's going to have to heave it incomplete. So good coverage downfield allows Adams to get some pressure on Hoyer and bring up fourth down.
So that announcement by Gene Steratore that there was no intentional grounding was directly for Coach Reed. Because I was watching how animated Andy Reid was on the far sideline. You think this game's a minute 42 in the game. They're up 2 touchdowns. They're a little more than 2 touchdowns. And he's over there animated, yelling at Gene Steratore that it's intentional grounding. And so Gene Steratore, being the vet that he is, clicks on his mic and goes, it is not intentional grounding. He is outside the pocket. So that was a little back and forth the two of them had.
And you're right, that was a one-on-one conversation.
Yes, it was.
Gene Steratore wasn't talking to anybody else but Andy Reid. Hoyer leaves that one well high and incomplete on fourth down. So the Chiefs will take over with a 23-7 lead. A minute 36 to go, and a chance to close out the first win of the preseason for the Chiefs. It will be Hogan and the offense coming back out.
The Bears do have a couple of timeouts, so I would anticipate that they're just going to run the football, force the Bears to use those timeouts. See the 3 tight ends running on the field together there.
Well, early on in this game when it was 6-0, we were talking about how all the numbers were lopsided for Kansas City, but the score wasn't quite so. Now everything is in favor of the Chiefs. All the numbers across the board, total yards dominated by the Chiefs, and a 23-7 score right now with a minute 36 to go. Hogan, the rookie out of Stanford, looking to close it out. So Alex Smith said he was looking forward to seeing how they would perform in the first noon game of the year. It's game 3 of the preseason. You're starting to eye the games where the scores matter. I'll say on both sides of the football, noon start, whatever those obstacles that might be in the way, it was cleared out of the way quickly for the Chiefs today.
Yeah, I thought it was productive on both sides of the ball. You and I touched on earlier the fact you'd like to see some of those drives end up in the end zone. They settled for a couple of field goals. The first offense did get that final touchdown going into halftime. So that was some good red zone work. But overall, you have to be happy of both sides of the football. And what was it in the first half? They held them to 30 yards of offense.
That's right.
Defense did their job as well.
So 2 timeouts, but John Fox is going to let Kevin Hogan take a knee and wind this one out for the Chiefs. So preseason game number 4 next Thursday back at Arrowhead against the Packers. Showed you earlier the rosters on Tuesday will be cut down to 75, so decisions ahead. John Dorsey and Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. If they can roll out of Chicago with first win of the preseason, and they did it in dominant fashion against the Bears.
Well, and I think it's as impressive of a third preseason game as you want. You know, next week against Green Bay, I'm not sure if any of the starters, if they do, they're not going to play very long. It is cut down day on Tuesday to get down to 75, and then you got to get to 53 a week later, or less than a week later. So this is an important time for those final roster spots, and I thought the guys showed up well today.
Two veteran NFL head coaches. QBs meet after the game with a 23-7 Chiefs win over the Bears. Tune in next Thursday when the team returns to Arrowhead to face the Packers. Kickoff 7 o'clock Central Time. Also tune in tonight to KCTV5 for more Chiefs coverage and a new episode of Chiefs Blueprint. For Trent Green, BJ Kissel, I'm Carter Blackburn. We'll see you Thursday from Arrowhead.